I
We're
did an emote for
we're
one of
live,
my
by the way.
friends. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, you can
That's
still
okay.
feel free to still continue to talk. I need a second anyways to like
Talk about
post
emotes.
the Twitter thing. All right.
Yeah, so you
It's
can see
weeded
the
it
outer
out.
lines are like thick, but then
Yeah.
like the inner lines are
Mhm.
kind of thin or like no.
And then I
Ah.
mentioned it on Discord. I did the things where I announced it, and I did it like right after starting today. I was so prepared. Oh,
Yay.
has
Retweeting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Seagull and Roku. And has Ducky held you back? No, Ducky's my friend.
What?
Subtitles.
Oh, you mean subtitles?
Yeah.
I was like, Ducky?
Yeah. For
What is
those
this?
for
Ducky
those
you're talking
For-
We all just like cough for a second.
yeah.
I was confused for a second.
For
like,
those
what?
for
What?
those who aren't aware, Subtitles attempted to make herself a body, and the end result of it is that she's now stuck as a rubber duck for the moment. She
That's adorable.
she resides on top of Pending's head, but right now she's in the background, looming over us all.
Oh, well.
Yep.
Looming over Tokyo.
Yeah,
Looming
exactly.
over Tokyo.
As is her want.
As
Oh. Mm-mm.
are you out of curiosity? Are you streaming on YouTube or? Oh wait,
Oh, YouTube.
the link.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I saw the link. I was like, what? Is it? Oh, okay, there we go.
Mm-mm.
My bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, YouTube usually takes a second. And hello, Waffler, hello, Spectre, hello, Nima, hello, Adol, I already said hello to Seagull, but hello again. Hello, Soul and Juno. Oh, yeah, let me introduce people, Okay. So, if you're looking at the screen right now, on the leftmost is Romeo, who is asleep. So he... Yeah. If we're still offline, let me just... Okay, let me end and start again. That's
Oh,
not
I
good.
think it's online.
Oh, is it online?
Oh yeah, I came back.
Yay!
It's back?
Yep.
Are we back?
We're back?
I think so.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, awesome. Hopefully that doesn't happen a lot. I hope. Okay. So I was saying before we got disconnected that Romeo's asleep, but he'll be joining us when he wakes up. And then next to Romeo is Hiiro. Say hello, Hiiro.
Hi.
Hi. And the
Hi.
hello. And I'm in the middle, and then to the right of me is Momiji. Say hello, Momiji.
Hello. Hello.
And then at the rightmost is Tia. Say hello, Tia.
Hey guys. Hey.
Hello. And the goal of this stream is because I've never been to Japan, but I want to go to Japan someday.
Yes,
So
definitely.
Yeah. So
Visit.
So I wanted to learn more about Japan, and I have assembled people who spend a good amount of time in Japan.
That works.
Yes.
You just like hang out at Japan, right?
Yeah. So the people
I mean, like the fact that is, I don't think anywhere in Japan you will see a giant duck looming over everybody, but that's okay.
Yeah, well,
True.
I mean, that's kind of suspicious that you would say that, because that makes me wonder if you're not actually in Japan.
Fair enough. Good
Yeah.
suspicion. I'll let you decide that afterwards whether or not I'm in Japan.
Maybe you're not a wolf after all.
Well, since he killed me, I mean.
Yeah. But we still, for context, we were playing werewolf yesterday, and both me and Momiji were wolves in the same game. But I didn't notice that Momiji was a wolf, and I lobbied everyone to lynch Momiji. And
It was my first game.
successfully
Oh,
in the first round of the first game that she had played. And then after the game, I was wondering the entire game because there was supposed to be 3 werewolves. Yeah, Asa was the GM. I was wondering the entire game because there was supposed to be 3 werewolves. Why why only me and Kyrie were the werewolves. And then
Because I died in the first round.
yeah,
That's why.
and I found out afterwards that Momiji was the other werewolf, and I wasn't supposed to do that, but I
You
didn't.
had to hear Momiji's voice too. Like when Pending's like, I think Momiji's kind of it. Okay. It's like, what? No, why would you say what?
Yeah, just and I did not take a hit. I did not.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, okay.
Okay, back to Japan.
Yeah. So yeah,
There
yeah.
are flying ducks.
There are flying ducks in Japan. So, I bet I know very little. Well, let me start by I guess kind of saying the things that I think I know about Japan, and you guys can kind of like say if that is true or not. One of the things I think I know about Japan is that as far as like places to visit / live go, it is on the pricier end. Is that a fair assessment?
Are we going one by one, like our opinions?
Oh, yeah, that might make it easier. Tia, do you want to start, and then we'll go?
Oh, okay.
Well, Tia and
Um,
Momiji might know more about this than me. So I can make an assumption.
Well, you've visited before, so you can kind of like give a visitor's perspective, and they can kind of give like a living there perspective.
Okay, so living, I guess, if you're going to live in the more city, obviously Tokyo is going to be expensive, just like any other big city around the world. But like, even if you move to the countryside, in my experience, if you are in a popular area, even in the countryside, it's going to be more pricey, and that's obviously it's going to be more pricey with like newer buildings. You know, like Japan loves not they call it mansions, but apartment complex. So there's a lot of new apartment complex, and even if you have only rice fields around you, you can have like a huge apartment complex right at the station. So those are going to cost you a lot if you either rent or buy. But I mean, other than that, live if you want a cheap place, I would suggest live far away from the station for the cheapest ones.
That's very true. Yeah. Sorry, should I go?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. No. I just didn't know when you were
I'm done.
finished. Okay, so yeah, I agree with Tia. Living close to stations will definitely be pricier, especially because basically in big cities like Tokyo or Osaka or even Kyoto. Actually, Osaka and Kyoto is a little less pricier than Tokyo is, and Kyoto even less than Osaka, from what I remember. Tokyo is because it's a big city. Population to space ratio is a little bit on the high side. I guess like high on the population, low on the space ratio. So it is a little bit pricier. Like just like renting an apartment building or an apartment. And the closer it is to the station, because it's more convenient, the pricier it is. And also, obviously, despite being pricey, you still hear the train tracks going across your window. So like, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but like, if you have thin walls, it's yeah.
Is it the kind of thing you'd get
If you're a
used to?
starving idle, that's like
Yes.
it's your only choice. But if you're not starving and you're not, I don't know, going to Akihabara every day.
But like travel, I think is the priciest that I have to say. Taking the train every day, or like the subway or whatever every day is, I think the most, like the highest expense I have, other than electricity and like house bills, like stuff like that.
Right.
Is monthly travel expenses.
Hmm.
tend to be the higher. Um, and reading chat, sorry, Siegel says that tech and electronics is not expensive in Japan.
Super expensive.
I will have to disagree with that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
super expensive. It's like pricier than anywhere else on the world because import also tax, and also like they mostly just sell Japanese brands and they have monopolies, so it's pricey.
Hmm. Do
So
not buy anime in Japan, even though you come here to buy anime.
so when you say they have monopolies, I'm trying to think. Like for example, for TVs, like Sony would be a Japanese company. Samsung, I believe, is a South Korean company. So like, would you be far more likely to see Sony TVs like for sale in Japan compared to Samsung TVs? Is that what you mean by?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because Japanese is it's very they're very proud of their, like, I'm not saying they shouldn't be, like they're very proud of their products and stuff like that. So they prefer to sell brands that are made in Japan, and people prefer to buy things that are made in Japan, or like, you know, made by companies, even though they probably have, like, you know, what do you call it,
Manufacturing might be done elsewhere.
manufacturers like elsewhere.
Right.
But yeah, sorry, manufacturing places elsewhere.
Mm.
But because the brand is Japanese, a lot of people would prefer to, like, you know, Japanese people would prefer to buy their own brands,
Right.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do.
I'm like, that might
I
not be the
wanna add,
place.
like,
Mm?
oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Is
No,
it
no,
okay?
no. Yeah, go for it.
I think I kind of remember about the going back to electronics. I don't know who I've heard it from. I'm guessing it was from someone who came. It was either China or Taiwan, but they specifically came to Japan to buy from like electronic stores, or because they mentioned in the chat about like big camera and like Don Quixote. So I know that there are tourists that specifically come to Japan to buy lesser or cheaper electronics. So maybe depending on the country, it might be cheaper. I'm not really sure, but if we're talking about America, then
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
so
Well,
it's-
comparison to America, definitely.
Yeah.
And I know comparison to Hong Kong, it's definitely cheaper in Hong Kong. China, I don't know about, but like maybe the reason wouldn't be so much as it's cheaper as it's safer.
Mm.
Like it's safer
I
to
think they like
buy
Japanese
in
brands
Japan?
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
than it is to buy in China,
Right.
because like you never know whether or not it's fake.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Japan would have higher quality checks.
Mm-hmm.
I
These
see.
brands.
Mm. Hiro, do you want to add anything like?
Oh yeah.
Are we still talking about living?
Well, no,
Talking
no.
about
Like,
electronics?
like when you go to Japan, like
Yeah.
are like hotel prices or travel expenses or those kind of things, are those particularly expensive?
Well, it's definitely, I mean, it's always expensive. No, for travel at least, it's gonna be expensive no matter where it is. It just depends on the season, I guess, for travel.
Mhm.
So I think, yeah, you gotta go when it's like downtime. Like, don't go like when it's Christmas or something to Japan. It's gonna be like really, really pricey, and there's not gonna be any hotels. Like I think I recommend Airbnbs as well, like rather than hotels. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like,
and I agree with the
me-
Airbnb. Sorry, go for
yeah.
it.
Oh no,
I'm
no,
sorry,
no. It's
I
okay.
keep
You can go
cutting
ahead.
people
No,
off.
go ahead. It's okay. It's okay. You can go ahead.
No,
Okay.
Are Airbnbs pretty popular in Japan? Like, is it pretty?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and like I think the image that a lot of people, Americans, I don't know for sure, but like have of the image they have of Airbnb is just like, you know, someone's house that they, or like apartment that they don't want to, you know, that they're not living in, and they just happen to, you know, rent out to someone, and it doesn't have to be pretty or anything. But like Japan Airbnbs tend to be on the pretty side.
Mm.
Like really decorate, not like super decorated, but like decorated enough to be like, oh, it's, you know, not someone's home, but like they were made for to be like, you know, visit for people to visit. And it's like, you know, nicely decorated, nice bed sheets, nice bed, carpet and that sort of thing, and then they'd have amenities and stuff like that prepared. So it's yeah, like my experience anyways of Airbnb in Japan at the very least.
Uh,
I
So
don't think
yeah.
I don't think I've stayed in an Airbnb in America or Japan, so I can't.
for Soul, who's asking what's an Airbnb, basically an Airbnb is like someone who has a property, puts it up for listing on this Airbnb website, and they set the price, and then other people can go, and if they like the price, they like the location and stuff, they can book it for a specific period of time. So it's kind of like a hotel, but it's independently run, facilitated through
Yes.
the Airbnb website. And it's a global
Yeah.
thing, so you can get Airbnbs virtually anywhere in the world.
And they're like technically like not always, but um if they're really nicely decorated ones, they're probably a little bit might be pricier, but they tend to be less expensive than hotels.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think
always.
Japanese people don't really use things like, well, at least not as much as abroad, but I don't think they use a lot of Airbnbs or like Uber, you know?
Yeah,
It's there, but then like if I ask Japanese people about it, they're just like, "What?" You know?
it's true. It's true.
Mm.
I do
You
have
guys don't really have a need for stuff like that.
True.
That's why.
no, we don't. Like I sometimes do see like Uber Eats
I
people on
love
bikes.
Uber Eats.
I know you do.
Yes.
What is this? What?
Oh,
Uber Eats?
well, you know what Uber is, right?
Mhm.
So Uber Eats basically is you you pick like a restaurant you want food from, you like specify what you want. An Uber driver goes to that restaurant, picks up the order for you, brings it to your
Are you
house.
serious?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
What?
so basically Uber is acting as like a third-party delivery service for all these restaurants that don't have like their own dedicated delivery service. Uh, and
That's so great.
and the end result is I order a lot of breakfast food. So
He does every time. Every
yeah,
time we talk about food, he's like, "I'm hungry. I'm just gonna check Uber Eats now."
yeah. Well, because I don't drive. I can't drive. I don't have a license. So Uber Eats is like, and the area that I live in, there's
Yeah.
like very little restaurant wise within walking distance. I'm fortunate enough that there's a Shoppers within walking distance, so like I can buy cookies and like basic foods there. But if I want like something restaurant wise, there's no real restaurants within walking distance. So Uber Eats is like my main way of getting
I'm
it.
gonna try
Mm-hmm.
that.
Asu says that in Malaysia they have Food Panda and Grab Food, which are kind of the same. In
Ah.
in Canada, there's also a one called Skip the Dishes that I don't use as much as Uber Eats, but it is an alternative. I imagine every country has like their Uber Eats equivalents now or Uber Eats competitors.
Mm. Yeah, like I don't know about like um Canada or the US with Uber Eats, but I know in Japan, and you'll notice this a lot. Like there's obviously people who drive cars, but bikes tend to be more prominent as a travel sort of tool for when you're, if you want to go to close by places. So I see a lot of Uber Eats bikes,
Mm.
like people with just their own little bikes, and then they'd have the Uber Eats like cooler or like heat box, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
mounted to the
That makes
back.
sense.
Yeah. So yeah, traveling other than trains and subways, bikes are very popular in Japan.
I was actually well for um first off, before I get to that, Hero, you said
Mhm.
like when it comes to Ubers and stuff, they don't really have a need for that. Is it because like everything's close together? Like how does that?
Well, it's pretty convenient. I mean, how do I say it? Uber in general, not Uber Eats, because Uber Eats, I think around the world, it's pretty like everybody's pretty lazy, right? Well, most people are lazy, so they'd rather pay a higher price than like walk or like drive to places, which can take time and money as well, because you're burning gas and stuff like that around the world, right? But like in Japan, you don't really have to use an Uber. You can just walk to places, like all the sidewalks, I'd say, and like underground is developed enough for you to walk everywhere. But like, for example, like I'm gonna use Malaysia or something. You can't like walk around in Malaysia because like pretty much the sidewalks are almost non-existent sometimes. So
Oh yeah.
sometimes you have to resort to like Uber or stuff like that to get to places. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about Malaysia.
I learned something every day.
Asu would know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Asu would be.
Ace is like, yes, I agree with you.
It's basically everywhere is very like the distance as well and stuff like that. Everything is not within walking distance, so you have to use vehicles to get everywhere. It doesn't matter if you use a train, Uber or your own car or whatever. Yeah.
I see.
Oh, this kind of ties into like the next thing I wanted to ask, and we've already kind of touched on it a lot, but so another thing that I think I know about Japan is virtually the whole of Japan is connected through trains. Like, so my impression of Japan is that if I was in Tokyo, I could then take a train to go to almost every major point in Japan, and maybe also some of like the more rural areas.
Like any type of train, or are you talking specifically about the bullet train?
The bullet train.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Mm.
I just see like I remember in like animes and stuff, like them taking the train to like different cities and stuff, or falling asleep and waking up in entirely like the wrong area of Japan. Is that how it works?
Japan life, right?
Like, is that how it works? I don't know, because like in Toronto, like there's a subway system, but like it only takes you to certain other areas in Toronto, and even then, not very many. So so I don't know if Japan has like a more developed train system, or how that works.
They have the bullet trains. So,
Yeah.
like that's like the official, if you want to travel around Japan and you got money, you
Yes.
take it, But like, for example, I don't know about all of the train stations, obviously, because I don't live everywhere in Japan, but I know that there's I forgot the name, Tokaido-sen. Do you know Momiji? Tokaido-sen?
Kaido-sen, yes.
Yeah, so I think it goes from, or at least this is how far I've tracked it. It goes from Tokyo to Kansai, and
Yes.
specifically Nagoya. I don't know how far it goes after Nagoya, but
Yeah, it does go up to Nagoya.
so it's like that's not the bullet train, but you can take an express, which obviously is not going to be as fast, but it's still fast, or you can just like ride it locally. And you're going to have you might have a couple like transfers here and there, because even though it's the same name, it's not the same track. So you might have to, change trains. But for
Right.
the most part, like relatively speaking, you could just take like a regular train and just travel all around Japan.
That's true, yeah.
The short
So
answer.
yeah, basically you have, well, I wouldn't say two choices only, because there's a lot of options to travel around Japan. But the Shinkansen, which is the bullet train, it does extend from basically the top to the bottom of Japan.
Can I ask something
You might
about
have to.
bullet trains? How fast are bullet trains?
Faster than the speed of light. I'm just
Let's see. So, for example, this is just an example. from Tokyo to Osaka. Osaka? No, let's say Kyoto. Tokyo to Kyoto. It takes about what 3 hours?
Yep.
Yeah, 3 hours to get there. By bullet train. If you take the bus, the nighttime bus, it will basically take the whole night. So you get on the bus at 11 p.m. and then you arrive at about 6 a.m.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a comparison. And
Okay.
by plane, it would probably be about the same as
So-
By
the.
plane, I think it's like it's like an hour, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
an
like an
hour.
hour or
It's an
so.
hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So
So,
okay, that seems pretty fast.
It is fast, but also very pricey.
Is it uncomfortable? Because I feel like if I'm
No,
going that
no.
fast, I'd get like train sick or something.
you won't
No,
even
no,
know.
no, 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 no.
You
Yeah,
don't
you won't even
notice?
notice. It's
Okay,
you don't
that's
notice
good.
it's moving at all. So it's really comfortable.
Oh,
So about the
230 kilometers an hour. Okay.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But-
About the Tokaido Sen though, yeah, I actually so a while ago there was the big typhoon, correct?
Mhm.
In Japan, and I think Momiji has mentioned this before. Momiji decided to escape from Tokyo because of warnings from various friends that
Yeah.
didn't actually know what they were talking about.
Oh
in
my
the end.
gosh. Oh no.
So she escaped from the area which was quote unquote supposed to flood,
Oh yeah.
and took the Shinkansen, the last train to Nagano,
Mm-hmm.
and not the smartest move ever. Spent like a fairly peaceful night at a hotel. Woke up the next morning, found out that the Shinkansen was flooded
Oh
and would
no.
not be able to move, and
Oh.
had to take like a cab from Nagano to another city close by to take the Tokaido-sen back to Tokyo.
Oh.
And
That
to
sounds
find out
sad.
that the area that was supposed to be quote unquote again flooded is completely safe and nothing happened.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
So you in your efforts to avoid a flood, you traveled into a flood, basically?
Yes, I did
Aw.
exactly that. And by the way, the friend that warned me about being the place being flooded was like, "We're gonna escape too. Let's go together." And I was like, "Well, I need to think about it." So I'm like, "Okay,
Oh,
fine." In the end, I decided to go. They left first, so I assumed they were gone far away.
yeah.
They called me in the middle of the night saying, "Oh, we couldn't get the last train, so we stayed. But there's nothing happened here." And I'm like, "Thanks. Thanks a lot." Yeah.
Oh, man.
So yeah.
With typhoons, you like never know because Japan is, it has so many mountains. So
Yeah.
like one part is really high up and the other part is really low. So even if you go to a different, prefecture, if you're in a spot that, is obviously lower than whatever, I don't know, the rest of the prefecture, it's gonna, affect when the typhoon
Yeah.
comes.
Like you never know. They have, these assumptions like, oh, this part and this part, depending on the route of the typhoon, obviously it changes. But
Yeah.
but people are just like, oh, you want to, because they were saying how it was like the biggest typhoon in like 50 years or something like
Yeah.
that, and it's like gonna be flooded, horrible, and like people please go to this what
Mm.
Hinanjo, which is what bunkers
Yeah, like
or
the
something
skip.
like that. Yeah. And like,
Evacuation.
especially people in my region, they're like, yeah, it's gonna be flooded. Everything's gonna, like flood to the up to the second floor or something like that. And lo and behold, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah.
Um.
So yeah.
Oh. I wanted to jump to a question that Soul asked a little bit ago, related to what we're talking about. Uh, is train travel more prominent than say cards?
Depends on what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah, depends on where you're going to. So if I'm gonna talk about Tokyo again, Tokyo has a lot of trains, and basically the trains can take you anywhere and everywhere.
Mhm.
So you don't really need to take buses or anything like that. There are buses, obviously,
Mhm.
but but yeah, it's not as it's the trains are more convenient that way. However,
Mm.
if you go to Kyoto, for example, uh, most people I know, Kyoto does have underground trains,
Hmm.
but a lot of people either prefer to bike in Kyoto because it's not that huge depending on where you're going, or take the bus.
Right.
Um, so yeah, there's like major stations in like train stations in Kyoto, but they're like they drop you off someplace and then you basically have to walk like I don't know 10-15 minutes to get to the place you actually want to go, or
Right.
take the
Right.
bus there, drops you off at the front,
Mm.
or ride a bike, which is pretty simple too. So yeah. So
I think if you're just coming as like a student or short term, or you already have like a set up job and a house kind of thing, I think probably the train would be your best bet. But then
mhm.
when you start living for a long time, or you start, if you have a family, like I wouldn't say recent, but a lot of times in Japan where there are really big places, like I don't know, like a Costco or like a home center, and really big necessities that you would need for maybe, I don't know, a new apartment or a new house that you
Mhm.
just got. So for the most part, those places are really inaccessible by trains. So you'll get off the train and then if you look on like Google Maps, it'll say, I don't know, like 30 minutes on the bus, or you got to walk
Yeah.
for 20 minutes because there's
Yeah.
no way to get there. Those are the
Mhm.
places where it's like they assume that you're going to have a car, because obviously if you're going to shop here, you're going to buy a lot of stuff, or like
Mm.
there are places, I don't know, is round one just a Japanese thing? I don't know if it's
What
really.
Momiji.
is round one?
It's like an amusement park, but not like an
Oh.
amusement. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a
Um.
place where you have fun, and they have all these like games and activities and sports. It's just like like an amusement park basically,
Hmm.
without roller coasters and stuff. But
I
Mhm.
haven't
like,
heard of round one before, though. I don't go to a lot of amusement parks, so
oh,
I
okay.
just might not be
I think
familiar.
it's a Japanese place. I might be. I don't
Is
know.
it more like a fair? Like, yeah.
It's an actual building, and they have different, like, it's not just one place, so it's all around Japan, and it's basically just like a recreation center
Oh
that
wait,
you
no,
can
I've
go.
been to one. Yeah,
Oh, you've
no.
been to one.
It's is it the one with like one floor it's like what bowling, one the another floor is like
Yeah, yeah.
got
And then
like
like the top floor.
arcade and then another
Yeah,
floor is
yeah,
Yep.
arcade.
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Mm.
Oh
that,
yeah.
well, in the end, it's kind of like that. I don't know if it's just Japanese or not, but places like that where it's really like family oriented, or I don't know, just really big places. Obviously they can't make big places near the station unless it's like a shopping mall where they can put a whole bunch of little stores in. So like big places will probably be farther away for you to access. So a car in that predicament would be the best bet. I would, recommend that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. It really depends on what you want to do. That's what I would
Yeah.
say.
Right.
Mm.
Mm. Um.
Mm.
What was I gonna ask? Um. Oh. So. On the topic of travel, Soul asked, "How hard is it to find your way around in Japan?" And uh, um, I guess more specifically, I'm wondering like for like first time being in Japan, like
Mhm.
how like because like anywhere is like relatively easy to find your way around once you get used to the area,
Mm.
but when you're new there or when you're in an unfamiliar place, is it particularly difficult, or is it made to be fairly intuitive?
I can probably answer this since
Mm-hmm.
I mean I visit Japan like very very often, like 3 to 4 times a year. So like I think at first the most confusing thing you're gonna experience is like somebody who's visiting, especially, is definitely gonna be the subway and like all the train lines. You're gonna
Mhm.
get confused, especially if you don't know Japanese or something, or like it's hard to remember all the stations, I guess. So at first you're gonna get confused with all the lines because sometimes you need to change from one line to another line, and then you're gonna get confused. So uh, I guess my tip, if you're going there for the first time, is to make sure to take one of those. They have those maps, I guess, the trade like the line maps in
Mm.
like one of those stands, and you can take one and like keep it in your pocket kind of thing. Take one of those and then have Google Maps open,
Yeah.
because your Google Maps is gonna tell you what line to take sometimes. So I would say Google Google if you're really confused in case.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys know that like Google Maps, I don't know if it's for other places too, but recently in Japan they've been really like detailed on like how many people
Yeah.
are going to be on your train at this time. If you
Yeah.
want to
Oh,
transfer
really?
here, you should get on train car number 3, so
Yes.
you can access the escalators easily. It's like really
It's very
Yeah,
detailed.
it's
yeah.
really
Super
detailed.
detailed.
What I also use is an app called, like, I don't know. There's like plenty of travel apps, I guess. This one particularly is for traveling in Tokyo in particular, and sometimes like larger cities as well. But it's called Japan Travel, and I use it to check like train times and also station, like where I need to switch trains and stuff like that. And that's what I use for, especially for when I'm traveling to new places in the city. So like, yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah.
I'm kind of wondering. This is kind of related to uh a big subject that I wanted to tackle at some point, but it ties in nicely to figuring out, like, finding your way around. Um, how how hard is it? And I know, like, it might be. How hard is it to get around, or I guess really just function in Japan as a tourist in general, or I guess specifically as a tourist, because I imagine it'd be much harder if like you're a permanent resident without like being able to read slash write slash speak Japanese.
I can kind of answer as well, I guess, because I've gone with family who basically some of them like
Mm-hmm.
some are relatives not who do not know like Japanese, but
Mm-hmm.
I can safely say that you'll be fine even if you don't know Japanese as a tourist. My personal opinion is that especially shopkeepers and stuff like that, most of them know basic English. Like if you talk to them in simple English, they'll understand most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, with apps nowadays, you can do a lot. Like I was saying,
It's
just
true.
take out your Google Translate. Google Translate has an app. It auto translates Japanese to English if you're really in need of like help and you can't
Mhm.
read signs. You just take out that app and basically hold the phone up, and it'll translate whatever text it is into
Yeah, it'll
English for
scan
you.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
So yes, so for those who don't
Oh.
know, yes, you can do this with the Google Translate app for like a lot of languages as well, not just Japanese. So if you're ever lost in a foreign country, it's very good to have that in case. And you can always translate your English to Japanese as well in case you want directions or something. And you can stop somebody and like show them the text kind of thing, and then they'll try and like help you based on that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that sounds super
Some,
helpful. Mm-hmm.
something
Yeah,
that
it
kind of
is.
struck me though when I first came to Japan was make sure that your phone carrier has international like service, or you can access some type of Wi-Fi. I don't know, go to a Starbucks or something, because I think
Mhm.
the first phone I had I couldn't use at all getting out of the airport, which was tough. But even when you can use your phone abroad, it costs a lot. Especially, I don't know
Yes.
about the opposite way, but for Japanese phones, it's very expensive if you use them abroad. So make
Yeah,
sure
it's
you
true.
guys are checking that before you
Yeah.
leave.
Super
Right.
expensive.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the phone company because um, like we there's a phone plan that we have that basically has like a daily fee that if you want to pay that daily fee, then your phone will operate as if it was still like in your region, like as far as data usage or calls or whatever go. So you don't get the long distance charges and stuff, but you go with the daily fee instead. Um,
Yeah, I think there's one time, I mean, because I move and travel a lot. So there's one
mm,
time when I went to the US, like, or anywhere in the world, right?
mm-hmm,
There's two things I've experienced because I have both like a US phone and like another like region phone. So my
mm,
US phone is under like this plan which it's basically if you go overseas it's fine, you don't have to pay extra because it's in your plan. There's no like international charge or anything. But the other phone, it's also like a daily fee. Basically, you pay a certain fee, and the whole day it's like kind of you're okay to use it kind of thing, and you can continue to use or continue to pay the fee every night or something, and every day after that it'll just keep charging you, charging you every
mm-hmm.
day
Oh,
the same fee until you're done with your trip. But that's
Mhm.
super expensive. The second one is super expensive. The fee is like totally not worth it. So you
Mhm.
gotta watch out sometimes. But I think yeah, the first one obviously it's like free basically, even if you go overseas. So you
yeah, that would
just
be
gotta
best.
watch out.
Mm.
Yeah. Now with from like with internet or like with phones, basically I would suggest if you plan to come to Japan, get like a phone plan or just get like a just the internet card because you don't really need to call people.
That's true.
Yeah, just use like a because if you have things like Line or WhatsApp or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
which also has a phone function like call function. You don't really need to use like a phone. um, and so yeah, just having the internet option is pretty much enough. And also, airports in Japan, they do sell SIM cards that have internet
Mm-mm.
offers. However, they're either like 5 days or like 10 days. I think is the maximum. I don't know if they have 1 month,
Mm.
but there's like limited data. And like, say for example, if you have 5-day phone card, if the money is finished, then you'll still have to charge, so it's not unlimited.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but that option is available. And also you can buy things like the what's it called, like the Wi-Fi things, the Wi-Fi eggies or whatever they're called, I don't know.
I'm not
Or
familiar
rent
with the
them.
Wi-Fi egg. Is that is
So what it is, it's basically a like a egg like sort of thing, that already has a SIM card inside, and you just connect to that, use its Wi-Fi, and you can rent it for like daily or whatever, and that's also available in airports
mm,
in Japan.
I,
So like you don't have to change your SIM card.
mm. I think someone asked this earlier. I can't remember who asked. But as long as we're on the subject, is the Wi-Fi in Japan fairly good? And I guess it would depend on area. Is that the case?
I think it depends on the area. I've been to places that have like really no connection, surprisingly.
Mm.
Mm,
That's weird. It feels weird,
If
but for the most part,
mm,
yeah.
like if you're within the Tokyo area, like it's is it reasonable to believe that within like a major city like Tokyo, like wherever you go there, you'd probably get reasonably reliable Wi-Fi?
hmm,
Mm,
I think so.
If you're in the
yeah.
main areas, right? If you're in the main
Mhm.
areas,
Yeah.
then I think the Wi-Fi should still be strong. But if you're like, I don't know, underground or like, no, even underground, it's pretty like
In
most of the
Tokyo,
time it's
yeah.
pretty strong.
Really?
Yeah.
Underground?
So yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah. You can, yeah, because
Yeah,
most people, even when they're in like the trains and stuff, they'd be on their phones and like they'd be doing things, you know. So it's actually pretty strong everywhere. I think only a couple places, like more secluded places, maybe. Then maybe the Wi-Fi is like bad there.
Right. Man, being
Sorry,
able
it's
to
just
use your phone in like a subway is a fairly foreign concept in Toronto. Like we're starting to get it so that in like specific stations there's Wi-Fi access, but actually when the when the subway train is like traveling from station to station, as long as it's underground, like there's brief periods of time in Toronto where the train actually is above ground, but when it's like actually underground, there's no service.
oh.
New York is like that too, actually. New York is no.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's like about how deep underground it is, because even in Japan, like it doesn't really feel that deep. Some stations are really deep, I think, but
Yeah, but I don't think it's like that deep because there's always the issue of like earthquakes and stuff. So I don't think
true,
they do
true.
go that deep.
Yeah,
It might
that's
So
really.
yeah.
it might be an infrastructure a question of infrastructure too, like whether or not the Wi-Fi's been set up to work underground, because I imagine that probably takes like specific kinds of signal boosters that probably in Toronto and New York and some other places have not been
One thing that can
installed.
mess up. One thing
Mhm.
that can
I
mess up
would
your Wi-Fi is kind of like going to a a convenience store and then having the Wi-Fi automatically connect to your phone. So if that happens, I don't know, does that happen to you guys? Like that happens to me all the time. Like I'm walking somewhere and then it just
Oh
connects
yes, yes.
Yeah,
randomly.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
just
Like
don't
get
don't
like
think
like
there's something wrong
disconnect
with
for a
your phone.
second. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
um,
Especially if you do have that place registered or like just one
Yeah,
convenient store registered and it'll just automatically connect to
just
all
erase your
convenient
phone
stores.
after.
Yeah.
do the convenience stores offer like free Wi-Fi?
Yep.
Oh,
Mhm.
Most
uh,
places do.
really? Uh, that's not so much the case here. There are some places like a lot of like McDonald's are pretty well known for offering free Wi-Fi. Um, I think like Starbucks and Tim Hortons, like Tim Hortons being a like a Starbucks, but Tim Hortons is specifically Canadian.
Timmy's.
Yes, yes. They're best known for their Timbits, which are like donut holes. Um, they're super good. So yeah, Tim Hortons is like known for free Wi-Fi because the idea is that you can kind of just sit and chill there if you so want. But beyond that, like I don't think convenience stores or shoppers or whatnot offer free Wi-Fi in Canada.
I think quite a few places in Japan offer free Wi-Fi.
Mhm.
I mean, like
Libraries.
other hotels and stuff. Yeah, libraries. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Someone
Convenience
asked
stores.
a really sorry, someone asked a
Yep,
deep
yep.
question. I,
What's the deep question?
about the employment system as a
Mm.
foreigner compared to a national citizen.
Mm.
That's a really complicated
Yeah,
question, actually.
That's pretty
that
deep.
is.
Yeah.
Did you guys want to tackle that one or?
I'm in the process of looking. Well, actually, no. I found a job, but like I was recently in the process of
Mm.
finding a job that will give me a visa. So they have. Thank you. I found one. Yes, I'm very happy. I get to stay.
Congratulations.
It was touch and go for a while. So the system in Japan is it's they have a point system. So if you have, say, for example, if you have a university degree, then you're going to get more points. If you have a master's degree, obviously more points than the university degree. If you have the JLPT, which is the Japanese language proficiency test.
Oh, wait,
Uh,
you're going for PR?
hmm?
Are you going for permanent residence? Are you?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Oh,
Oh.
because I know when you said like the point system, like because there's
Yeah, but
Mm.
it depends on some places as well. But like, so, in
Ah.
general, yeah, like there is that point system thing. But the other option is like if you just want to get a work visa, which is like a shuro visa is what it's called.
Mhm.
The requirement is that the job you find has to be either something you studied in, like related to something you studied in university, or if you've studied in Japan, like a specialist school, or like that sort of thing in Japan. It has to be related to what you studied in Japan, or if you have 4 years of working experience outside of Japan, then your job has to be related to the your 4 years of working experience. Then it's easier to get your visa that way. So basically, things that you things that it's that only you can do, sort of idea. Like, oh,
Right.
why would I hire you if I can just hire like a Japanese person to do the same thing, like working at Starbucks or something like that. So they won't give you visa for that. But if you have a special skill, then it's easier to get visa.
Right. That makes sense.
I would say like I think it once again, it really depends on what you come here for. Because I don't have a working visa. I'd never had a work, but I've worked under other visas, and I don't
Mm.
know. I think kind of how do I say? Like the applying process, obviously, if you know Japanese, you're gonna have more doors open to you. Not to say that you're gonna have like a office job, but like when we just said like Starbucks or McDonald's, just something for like easy money. It's probably easier if you can at least speak like conversational Japanese. They'll probably hire you on the spot, to be honest. But
Hmm.
um, things like English teaching, obviously it's better to have a degree. The better the degree, the better the company. Now you
Hmm.
don't need a degree to teach English, and you actually don't need an experience to find an English job. But if you want to have a nice job where they don't screw you over, uh, you know study something back in your home country and then come to Japan would be the best option.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
it really depends on what you're coming for. If you're just a student who wants some money, you can pick up English teaching or part-time jobs in different places. Some companies do um, college students, even exchange students. If they know enough Japanese, they'll just like accept you, because I
Hmm.
think in Japan they don't really, in my experience, part-time people in general, even if you like are graduating or if you're still a student, they're not held to the same standard as some um,
Yeah.
an employee in the company. So it's kind of like come and go. Like, oh, okay, well, you can come in for a little bit. Basically, they still have that same system. So you could work in a Japanese company as a part timer as well if you know Japanese.
Yes.
Mm.
Correct.
But yeah, I think I don't know if you're coming to like work in Japan, like that's your thing. I want
Yeah.
to do this, then you should probably have a little bit of something from home.
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
you don't speak Japanese, that's my opinion.
Mm.
Hmm. And also, Seoul Ass is the work ethic as intense as said, like high expectations, etc. Um, like work expectations in Japan, I guess it depends on what you mean as how like intense, because how do I say this? Being on time is very important in Japan.
Right.
Like never being late is very important in Japan. Um, like even from what I understand is like um studying in Japan, you basically have like your or shisekiritsu, which is how like your rate of like how often you're in class, like your attendance rate. There you go, your attendance rate. And if you're late 3 times, you get docked. Like uh you basically is equal to being absent for 1 day. And people, like companies, actually look at your attendance rate at school to decide whether or not they'll hire you.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
English companies really
Mhm.
really emphasis on that. I don't know. I think I think a lot of times what's easy to kind of misinterpret is if you come to Japan and then you work for an English speaking company, or like if you're teaching English and then I don't know, your boss and everyone around you is, a foreigner. So you kind of think, oh, okay, well, maybe, they know the way of, I don't know, America or Canada. So they'll be a little bit more lenient with this or certain with that. But for sure, they obviously, because it's in Japan, they have a Japanese boss that they're being looked at by other Japanese people. So they're going to follow the Japanese rules to a T
Yeah.
as well. So you shouldn't, sway on those.
Yeah.
Study them beforehand.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely being on time is like the biggest thing that I know
Mm,
at the very least. It's like it if you're a good worker, that's fine. If if you're a hard worker,
mm,
um, but you're late often, or like every so often, they'll still see you as not a good worker. If you
true.
know what I mean, you'll get a bad impression from your bosses, even if you do good work, even if you're like a hard worker, but you're late, and your impression just drops immediately. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Another thing that really they look at is, I guess it's kind of, you can kind of see it as unfair, but they'll offer you, I think it happens often with English teaching, but they'll offer you another job. So, hey, you have a free day or you have some free time. Do you want to sub for this person, or do you want to like, you know, do something in the office? And obviously you can say yes a couple of times, but the more you say no, the less they'll trust you
Hmm.
overall. And that kind of sucks because even though it's not your job, some companies are a little bit okay with that. But if a lot of times with English companies, sometimes they have like underlining other jobs that you can do, so they'll kind of like hint at them, or you'll see like just a little line in in the contract. Oh, and we might have you, hang out at the office and sign some papers for us, or so obviously you can turn them down. They say that you have the free will to turn them down, but then obviously if you keep turning them on, it's like, okay, well, I don't know
There's
about that.
consequences. Hello,
Yeah.
Maple.
Not really big consequences. It's just like, well, we're not going to ask you, if you want some extra money for the summer because, there's no school in summertime and you need that extra money, don't you? Well, we're not going to give you any extra jobs.
Mm,
Stuff like that. Those are extreme,
right.
things. But not every company is like that. But there are times, if someone asks you to do something and obviously there's, if you don't really have something big going on, or you really just don't have the time, it's that's fine. But if you do, I'd say just kind of take it, a couple of times, get that trust building.
Mm,
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely. And also, being late on the train system. Resorified asked, is it true that drivers will apologize if their trains or buses are late? Yes, they will.
Yeah.
Yes, they will. They
mm,
will, say on the PA, we apologize. Today's schedule is a little late. We will arrive, I don't know, like 5 minutes after
Mm.
schedule, or something like that. And then, like, we're sorry for, the time. But on the other hand, as someone who is looking to, you know, do it, be an entertainer, a
Mhm.
mm,
voice actress here in Japan, what my teachers, and professionals in class in my classes have said, um, Tokyo trains are expected to be late. You like
Mm.
trains are things that will be late. So
Mm.
if you're late, you can't use the train system was late as an excuse. It's like because you expect it to be late, so you're supposed to like leave to give yourself I don't know, at least an
Mm.
hour or 30 minutes of leeway to get to the point, to get to the place where you need to work, because you're expected, like the trains are expected to be late. They will be
Right.
late, so you have to prepare for that as the unless like the trains was like, yeah, it got delayed for an hour and a half or something like that, and that's something
Mm.
like different, but yeah.
right.
If you work in a Japanese company, be prepared to go to work in sleet, snow,
Mhm.
rain, tornado, like seriously.
Yes.
If it's like, "Oh my god, my train shut down because of the snow." It's like, "Well, you have another train line from your station. Why don't you take that to work?" You know? Or it's like, "Oh, I have to
Mm,
wake up 5 a.m. in the morning because they said it's gonna snow sometime around 8 a.m.," So yeah,
Yep.
dummies, they have like you can when the train is late, you have this little ticket that you can get at the station to say that you're late.
Mm.
And that you hand that into your boss, and then like you're not docked pay if it was like, missing your work hours, but it's expected of you to already know what kind of weather is going to happen, and you should come early because that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Uh, RNAP asked a question that I was wondering about too. Is what what's what's the biggest discrepancy between what you thought about Japan before going versus how it actually is? Uh, Hiro, did you want to start? Like before you first
Uh,
visited, what was your biggest like what surprised you the most?
expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah. What what surprised me the most? That's pretty difficult.
Mm.
Um, I'm actually not that sure. I don't really think anything. I didn't really have expectations. I don't know how to say it. Like,
Mm.
I just went in like want to have a good time kind of thing, and I had a
Right.
good
Right.
time. So I'm like, yeah. Let me think. Maybe I expected. I actually expected like prices, I guess, in general to be lower. It's actually like some certain areas the prices I expected to be lower.
Mm.
But it was pricey and stuff like that. So the
Mm.
second time around brought more money kind of thing. Yeah.
Right.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
it's true.
Yeah.
Too expensive. Tokyo.
Yeah.
Don't live in
Mm.
Tokyo.
Yeah, actually, like
City, so.
I went to. I think the first time I went to Japan was like a long, long time ago. It was when I was like 8 years old or something. No, even younger, I think. But like, ever since then, like we went to Tokyo first, and Jesus, yeah, we didn't, like. We already thought like, okay, we'll bring this amount of money. Then the second trip we doubled it, kind of
Oh
thing.
wow.
And then after that we went to Osaka, and we kind of like went Osaka for like a long, long time after that because how do I say it? Tokyo, I guess for a tourist especially, or like somebody who's not permanently living there, Tokyo is like very, how do you say, very, you can't relax as much, I'd say,
Mm.
for some reason. Osaka and Kyoto, maybe even Hokkaido and like other places in Japan are much better. I wouldn't say it's better, but like it's more
More laid back.
easygoing. It's more,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
easygoing,
And
and
I
it's
agree with
also
that.
it's also cheaper than
Mm.
Tokyo.
That's
Especially you
really
wanna buy stuff and
Mm-hmm.
goods, especially if you're coming there to shop. Like, don't, like, Tokyo is so expensive. So we went to Osaka like basically for many years, and then after that, like, once in a while Tokyo kind of thing. Yeah. I just
Mm.
8-year-old hero is like, oh my god, this is way too expensive. Then you know it's expensive.
yeah, yeah. I was like, it was like, yeah, I was kind of shocked when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'd
Mm.
say if you're going there to like relax and have a good time, then
Mm.
just if you go to Tokyo, be prepared to like bring more money. If you go like anywhere
Right.
else, you can kind of not that much less, but like less. Yeah,
File
Mm.
for bankruptcy if you go to Tokyo.
yeah. But I think one thing that like I really like, it like surpassed my expectations, is definitely the food quality in Japan. Like, I think the food quality in Japan is like one of the best I've like in the world kind of thing.
No.
They really take care of their like food like a lot there, more so than like a lot of other countries. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
So if you're there for a food trip, it's good.
Mm.
Yeah.
I definitely want to ask about food, but before I ask about food, Momiji or Tia, did either of you have anything you wanted to add to like things that surprised you about Japan, like things that you thought were going to be different than they were?
I mean, I also wasn't doing. I didn't go to Japan thinking, okay, I expect this to happen in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So there wasn't so much as like, oh, that's different from what I thought or anything like that. Um, there are quite a few things that were, I wouldn't say culture shock, but it was like, oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Sort of like little customs in Japan that you never realize until you live there. Like, for example, you don't talk on the phone on trains or buses,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you can't literally like almost can't answer the phone on trains because it's super impolite. Um, and also the fact that and this is probably going to come as a shock to you, Pending, because as a Canadian, um, I know it's probably a fairly common thing to walk while eating.
Yes.
Yes, you hardly do that in Japan. Like people hardly do that in Japan, and it's only foreigners that do it. So like
Yes.
Japanese people don't do it. So like even if you buy street food, you'd probably like stand by the store and eat it and then throw it away
Mhm.
before you walk away, rather than just walk while eating. Because
Mm.
like no one does that in Japan. It's like yeah, no, you don't walk while eating or walk while drinking. Like
You'll see all the foreigners doing it.
yeah, Canadians are like cup of coffee, like start I don't know
Yeah,
Tim
yeah.
Hortons coffee on one hand, donut in another hand, and just walk along while munching on the donut and drinking coffee, and that's pretty common. Yeah, they don't do that in Japan.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's one thing that shocked me. One thing that I can say that met my expectations in Japan is how polite people are.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not it's like just a superficial politeness, or just honestly, people just being polite. Either way, people are surprisingly polite in Japan, at least from my experience, anyways. Um, and there are quite a few people who are willing to help. Um, if you're lost or anything like that, they're very willing to help out and like just offer some directions or something like that.
Mm.
Um, um, and just like I don't know if I should say like a quick story. I guess that was like many years ago when I first went to Japan as a little momiji, as a miniature momiji.
Yeah. As a mini Miji.
As a mini Momiji. Momiji was going back to her hotel from Disneyland with fellow with her parents, because Momiji obviously had parents, right? With her parents,
Her fellow parent.
fellow yeah, with her parents, and Momiji got a little too excited, jumped on the train before her parents could, and the train doors closed behind her.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
and
that was the
her
last
parents
moment she
were
ever saw of her parents.
and Mini Miji just, watched in despair as the train closed in front of her parents, face and hers, between the two of them, or three of them. And Mommy Miji,
Mm-hmm.
Mommy Miji pointed, you know, signified with her hands, "Wait for us at the next station. We'll go there and we'll pick you back up." Unfortunately, Japanese trains have something called express and local trains.
Oh
And
no.
she rode on a local. Her parents took an express that did not stop at her station. As Momiji found out afterwards. So Momiji waited for half an hour without her parents appearing, and 3, 5, like a lot of trains passing, started to get worried. Luckily, she remembered her station where her hotel was. So she went there, didn't have a ticket to leave the train station because her mom kept it. So curled up in a corner and started crying. A very, very helpful Japanese gentleman appeared before Momiji and luckily spoke enough English to understand that Momiji was lost and needed to go back to her hotel. So was nice enough to pay for the ticket to get out, and also pay for a cab to get to the hotel and take her
Aw.
to the hotel and wait until her parents returned safe and sound. So yeah,
That's
That's
really
it.
nice.
That's
that
so
was my
sweet.
first impression of a Japanese person. So yeah. So yeah,
Mm.
there
That's
you
a
go.
really nice story.
It
Yeah.
was.
Mm.
It was. So there you go.
Yeah.
yeah, so that's my impression of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything to say? I'm sorry.
It's fine. My impression, I think I'm kind of like you guys as well. When I first got here, um, well, it was kind of special because I wasn't super mini Tia, but I was younger Tia. But I came by myself, and at the time I didn't really know Japanese. And well, I came I was a student, and so like obviously I didn't really know what to do and how to like get around. So I think like I didn't really have at that point I didn't have any expectations. I was just kind of like I just want to live. I just want to be able to like have a house, and where am I going to go? I was so scared. I mean, obviously my school helped me out, you
Mm-hmm.
know, afterwards, but my school no one there spoke English. So it was just kind of me not knowing Japanese and everyone not knowing English, and I really had to just like push my way through. So at that point, I think it was just more of shock of everything that was coming at the same time. So I didn't really have any expectations in the beginning. But I do remember one of my friends who was on the exchange with me, she pointed out, and I didn't even notice it at the time, but now, obviously, living in Japan for a while, it kind of, starts to click. But she said, like, she thought in the beginning that Japan would be more, because I guess, obviously abroad we hear about Japanese electronics and anime and all these robots and future stuff. Japan was like the first ones to have like television on your cell phone. So like she came to Japan with all these high expectations of like this like into the future kind of thing. And it really wasn't that. And like Japan actually has a lot of old things left behind. And it's not really like Kyoto where you have like the whole like history part or the samurai and the geishas. That's not really that. It's like Japan really has old parts, like just parts that are
Mhm.
not developed, you know? So
Right.
like you're around Tokyo and it's all like really party hard, yeah, 21st century. But then, you just move a little bit out. Even some parts of Tokyo aren't very, newly developed. You'll find a lot of old houses,
Mhm.
a lot of old restaurants run by really, nice, obviously really yummy, but older grandmas and grandpas, who've
Mm.
been doing it for like 50, 60 years. And so I guess she was really surprised and kind of upset about it. She was, because she kind of had, these really big high hopes that she can buy all this stuff and do all this really cool high tech stuff. So I think that, now thinking about it, oh wow, yeah, that is kind of like a shocking thing. Oh, I think, wait, Romeo's here.
Oh, Romeo's awake.
Yep,
Romeo?
yes.
He said I'm dead.
I'm dead. He says I'm dead.
Yep,
Oh.
he messaged me. Oh my god. That I was like, I wanted to say something, but
1 hour
Tia
into the
stopped.
stream, Romeo's awake.
But about what Momiji said, something that it didn't meet my expectations, but it kind of surprised me. But it's kind of opposite of Momiji's story. So
Oh.
kind of it gives
Uh-oh.
like not a bad way of Japan, but it kind of gives you mixed feelings because you don't really know like, okay, which one is. But
Mm.
because I was an exchange student for a total of 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that really surprised me is that the more Japanese you know, ob- obviously, I guess if you say it, just like right then and there, it's like the more Japanese you know, the easier it is to communicate with Japanese people. But in fact, well, in my case, it's like the more Japanese I knew, the more I realized how much I didn't have in common with Japanese. I
Mm.
realized more of the cultural differences.
Mhm.
So,
Mm.
when you don't really know that much Japanese, or like you're in that middle of spot where it's like, yeah, I can speak Japanese, but I can't really, but I'm just gonna act like I can. You like really feel good about yourself, and you're like, oh my god, I have all these Japanese, friends. But you start really understanding like cues and like
Mhm.
things that they don't say, because everyone knows like Japanese people don't really talk that much or really shy, hold their feelings back kind of thing. So you start picking up on those cues and you start picking up on language and things, the way that things are said, and then you realize like, oh wait, I used to think that was good, but that's not actually good. This person probably hates me.
Oh.
Yeah, that I understand. Like you start picking up on the little nuances of the language, and
Yeah.
wait,
Oh,
what they're saying
you
isn't
like
exactly what. Yeah, no, that I understand.
What commonly happens is, even I think you can experience it as a tourist, partying or like going out in Shibuya in Japan, is that you'll often get really chummy with someone. You might get chummy with someone, and then I think this particularly happens with girls, but it'll start saying like, "Oh yeah, we're such good friends. Oh hey Romeo."
Hello.
Oh my
god.
Good
You're
morning.
fine.
Good morning.
Here, I'm gonna turn you up a bit.
I can't believe this actually happened. What the?
It's okay. I know it's super early in the morning there, so I understand.
Oh my god, I had no.
It's okay.
Oh my god,
It's okay.
I am
Good
so
morning.
sorry. I was joking about this, like
Yeah, I saw
last
the.
night, I had 2 alerts, Oh god.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome. At least you got up, right?
Yeah. Good morning.
Well.
I sent 100 messages. Yeah, I was literally no. It was you see, it's just me spamming the letter A into the chat. Just like A. Yeah.
Okay.
You're not forgiven. You have to sing a song.
No. That has nothing to do with Japan, though.
You can sing a Japanese
sing a Japanese song. Yeah.
It still doesn't. No. Hello. That's too cruel.
Yeah, no, you're not talking yourself away from this, out of this. You're singing a song.
No. Haven't we met for first time? Well, what is going on?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even if we met for the first time, you're still singing a song. It does not. Our meeting for the first time does not, remove you from being late and having been punished.
Yeah, we were just talking about how you can't be late in Japan, Romeo.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
In spirit, but practical problems comes up,
Practical purpose. You get up from bed and you turn on your computer. What practical purposes are you talking about? Yeah, we're expecting a song. Just saying.
Right now? Not right now.
Seagull suggested, and I don't know what this song is. Fua time.
Oh my god.
What song is that?
That's from K-On, that anime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What?
Oh, it looks like you're familiar with this song.
Well,
I mean, what is that song? That sounds so unfamiliar. I wouldn't be able to sing it. No. Get back to the topic, so I can join you guys.
Is this a rain check?
Would you want to sing us out at the end of the stream?
No. Why don't I do it in my own stream? As a punishment. Later.
What? No, it can't give you time to prepare. What? Just do it here, yeah.
Song.
I don't know you. This is the first time you're meeting.
All right, nice to meet you.
Good to meet
Yeah.
you. Good to meet you for the first time.
You're still singing.
Yeah.
It's okay. You know what? What's the best way to learn about someone after meeting them for the first time? Icebreakers, and what's involved in icebreakers? Singing.
That is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yep.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Jesus
It's in
Christ.
Japanese. Just the beginning part.
Oh yeah, could you sing it in Japanese?
Oh my god! If you are making me do that, it's Today's
We're
a
making
day
you do it.
retiring from VTubing.
Romeo, do you want to build a snowman? Come on, let's go out and play.
It's not even Christmas, or it's not even Christmas. It's
You-
That's
over.
not a Christmas song,
Romeo.
though.
You never talk to me anymore. I'm out the door. Come on, let's go and play.
I think
we-
Penny had wanted to sing this.
We used to be
Penny
best
just wanted to sing it.
buddies, but
I
now we're
thought Romeo was the one that's taking this punishment.
I know. I just really like that song.
Aw, Penny. Well, seriously, what were you guys talking about?
we were
Wait, what were we talking about?
the last question was like expectations.
Oh, okay, right. Oh, I was the one talking. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh my god, what was I saying? Oh, right. What happens in
more you
Shibuya
know,
stays in
yeah.
Shibuya. No, I'm joking.
The more you know about the language,
yeah.
the more you understand that people aren't really, nice.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's so awkward
But
with
it's
Romeo
true.
here, not
I know.
Japanese.
But it's true, like, they make it sound so polite, and they call it, what? Tomari.
遠回りとか、what was it? 建前と本音。Oh, what was I forgot what
Like,
else.
honne is the true voice, right? It means, like,
Yeah.
what you're actually thinking.
What was the story I was saying? I forgot about Shibuya. And okay, sorry.
What
So
stays in Shibuya?
if you meet people, like if you go out and like meet people in Shibuya or Shinjuku, what happened to me a couple of times, not even just out, it was in my school as well. Like you'll have girls, it mainly happened with girls where, we get really friendly really fast. Like we're just like best friends. We hang out the whole night and we're just like, oh yeah, this is awesome. I really connect with this person. And then it goes, yeah, let's exchange our email addresses or let's exchange line, we're gonna hang out from now on and it's gonna be so great. Yeah, let's make a group and all this stuff, right? And then like maybe a couple weeks later, I'll message the group or I'll message this one person like, oh, hey, so when do you want to hang out? And it's like, oh, I'm kind of busy right now. Maybe next time. And I'm like, okay, sure. In the beginning,
I'm not gonna ever see you again.
Yeah, like in the beginning, I didn't really see it happening. I mean, obviously that happens around the world, it happens anywhere. But I think I was just so surprised that it happened so often in Japan, I guess, in like such a short period of time. And also, it happens like even when you're in the same group of friends, or if you're in the, like I said, in my school, like I see you around, it's gonna, it's gonna be kind of awkward. Like, what do I say to you? So I think that was just a really big surprise for me because in the beginning, obviously, I didn't know that much Japanese. So I just figured, oh, maybe this person's busy with like tests or something. Or, you just don't really pick up on some cues, that I would probably pick up nowadays. I can pick up like, oh, hey, yeah, we're hanging out, we're best. Let's call each other tomorrow. See you. And then, it's like, obviously, we're going to call each other the next day. But I don't know. I think that also has to do with, coming to Japan so young, life experiences in general, obviously, getting to meet more people is a big thing that's involved. But yeah, I think one thing, at least I guess advice I would say is if you're coming to Japan without knowing Japanese, I wouldn't say don't be so surprised because I see it happen often with people. I speak to a lot of foreigners that, out of nowhere, they just love Japan in the beginning. Then, I don't want to. And then they just get like so distraught from it. And I think the shock, the culture shock from just living in Japan for a long period of time or actually like learning Japanese or getting some type of way or some type of feelings about Japan, so I don't want that to happen to other people. So I don't know. I just like you guys said before, don't really come with so much expectations, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come and meet a Japanese girl because Japanese girls love foreign guys and we're just gonna have a perfect relationship. You know what I mean? Like those kind of things. Just cut those at the door. Is the best policy.
I think the thing is like people are people everywhere, right? They're basically humans, or they're the same. So like don't expect, I mean, like, you can expect a polite facade, or like, just a certain degree of politeness, because that's how the culture is. However, like there's still people who are, jerks, or people who are really super nice, or just, people in
Exactly.
general. So like, don't expect Japanese people to be like, a cut above everybody else. No, because they're still human. So
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's
I
an
think that's
interesting question. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, sorry. No, that's it. That's it. That's it.
Oh, okay.
I
I mean,
actually
we have such like big like views about Japan, and I think because anime is so big,
Mhm.
I know for me an example, when I first started liking Japan, it was just only anime, and then when you start to grow up and realize, oh wait, there's an actual country with people in it, you don't actually like think of the people in the country as like just regular people in your country, because it's a faraway land and they make such good anime. It kind of like, I don't know, you kind of put it on a pedestal, I
Hmm.
think. And there's some, there's people that come to Japan and still kind of hold it on
Mhm.
that pedestal. So it's like Japanese people, or just Japan in general, can do no wrong. So
Mhm.
they,
Mhm.
they don't really want to see going around them. It's just like, no, Japan is completely perfect. I can do anything here. Everyone loves me. And you have the, like I just said, the ones that come and really get that shock, and it's like, oh my god, what is this place? It's like, no, it's just the
mhm.
country, like
Just
every
the
other
country,
country.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think though in general the polite thing from earlier though, I think um in my opinion, from what I've seen, because I used to travel a lot, like Western countries, European countries, people are pretty straightforward if they don't like you, or like if they have something to
Mhm.
say, they'll be pretty forward about it. But like in Asian countries, people have this like they get uncomfortable when so they don't say it outright, but they like
Mm.
avoid it kind of thing,
Yeah.
avoid it and like avoid you in general. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's all I
And
want to
yeah, it's
say.
not just in Japan either. It's true for a lot of Asian countries as
Mm.
well. It's, I think, to do with um I think someone mentioned it, like face, like saving face, but it's not completely that either. It's just like, they don't want to hurt your feelings is one thing. Um and they don't want to say it straight to your face. It's kind of like, it's, yeah, I don't know. It's just yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
they don't want the situation to get awkward. I think
Yeah.
that's the main thing. Because awkwardness is like the number one thing that like people don't want in Asia. I think.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Hmm.
That's a really good point, because I guess it still has to do with the same thing. But for example, if you are in, well, for example, like a debate, if you're in a
Mhm.
debate, one, I think from personal experience, I just don't think debates run over very well with Japanese
No.
people. But if you're in that kind of heated discussion where, your opinion, isn't really being taken a certain way, so you're trying, for an American, I get really heated up, like in a conversation, like, oh, wait, no, let me give you my opinion, kind of thing. And
Mhm.
even if, let's say, like, you're in the right, or, like your opinion makes the most sense, it's like if you are the one kind of making everyone feel uncomfortable, it's going to be looked at that you're the one causing confrontation. So I think that also comes in like mistranslation, because it's like, you, from your perspective, it's like, well, no, we're just having a discussion, and I
Yeah.
feel passionate about this topic, so I'm just going to, express my feelings. But I think from a Japanese point of view, it's like, well, you're coming on too strong, nobody else is really on that level. Also, you kind of have to give good feedback too. And it's like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. That's fine. Not always just saying, but, like, oh, wait, listen to me. That's what I had a problem with in the beginning too,
Hmm.
about like, just like discussions. I used to think, oh, well, yeah, we're both having a debate, you know, but it kind of came off as like, well, I don't want to hear another person's opinion. So, that's kind of, I kind of feel like, coming from a country where it's like you have to express yourself, to be heard, you kind of have to double that back and do
Hmm.
like an opposite kind of approach if you don't
Mhm.
come on too strong or scare people away. I think that's
Mhm. Yeah.
some.
Yeah. I mean, like I have to say this. And you know, and that has nothing to do with saving face or like polite or being awkward or anything at all. But I don't think we can get past this unless this get past any other topic unless this happens. Romeo, you have to sing.
It,
I
de-
mean,
Yep, everyone wants it.
it
Everyone
definitely
wants
seems like the
it.
chat is passionate on this subject.
I mean, like there's nothing else but make Romeo sing here. I don't think chat will let it go.
oh,
You could
Yeah.
sing "Let It Go."
That's true. Yeah.
That's a
not
good
like now. I can't just interrupt the whole stream and sing and we can't like get back to
No, it's okay. I don't mind.
it's
I don't mind you
No,
interrupting.
no. It's gonna be so weird though. Like when I'm done singing, we are just gonna go back to the topic like that hasn't happened. Seriously.
I mean, we did urge you to sing and then go back to topic, so it's fine.
It's fine.
not that. No,
Just
no,
a
no,
good
no, no, no.
example of not wanting to be confrontational right here.
Jeez. I mean, later, okay, later, not like now.
Okay, you guys heard him, right? Alright, he said
Yeah,
later.
yeah. He said later.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Is later gonna come?
Yeah, I mean, I will do that much, since I'm late.
Oh,
and
he
as
agreed.
a punishment, I will do it.
Okay.
He said it. So
Oh.
So I think Hero cut out.
Oh, did Hero cut? Okay.
Wait, it's actually dead.
Hero.
Hero.
Oh, you can sing I Need a Hero.
I need a hero. Something until
Hi.
the end of the.
I don't know the song.
Hello. Hero, was that you?
hi.
Hello.
Okay,
We can
we're
hear
back,
you
we're back.
again. Hello?
Alright, good. It's okay.
Mhm.
Everything is breaking. It's okay. Everything is fine.
What were you saying before it died?
Oh, nothing. It's okay. My everything is dead. It's alright.
Oh no.
Everything is dead. No, Hero. No.
Don't you guys know my AC is broken? My internet is broken. What else is broken?
Oh no.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Hashtag save Hero.
Hashtag save hero. Hashtag save hero. Hashtag make Romeo sing.
Someone put that as a hashtag, didn't they? What did
Yeah,
I say?
Asu put that as a hashtag.
Yeah,
earlier.
they
True, yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Yeah, I
make Romeo
retweeted
sing.
it with the hashtag as well.
So did
It's
I.
okay, we'll get it trending in the VTuber.
Excellent. Excellent.
What's
Wait,
your
is it on
favorite
Twitter? Because if it's on Twitter, then I'm gonna retweet too.
It's on
It's
Twitter.
on Twitter.
On
It is
Twitter.
on Twitter.
Okay, hang on.
Yes.
I'm
Thanks,
gonna-
Asu.
I thought Ace was supposed to be my friend though. What's going on?
Asu's
Oh, he
your
said
friend.
Baby Shark.
No. I'm
Oh, but it's so easy.
Oh, I love Baby Shark.
Yeah, it's the
Baby
easiest
shark,
song
do
ever.
do do
I
do
am
do. Baby
leaving.
shark,
I
do
am
do do. Oh, what was I gonna say?
Your next question?
Yeah, Asu said that he's a friend that wants to hear you sing. Oh, but my next question. Oh, so this was kind of because Hiro mentioned a little bit ago that one of the, or I think it was Hiro. It might not have been Hiro. One of the things that like met or exceeded her expectations about Japan was the food being really good.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, and I was kind of hoping, like, obviously, if you're going to Japan, like, as a first-time visitor, sushi would be high on the list of things that I'd want to eat. But I'm kind of wondering, like, what are some other things, if I'm going to Japan to try, that you might not think of, but are really good to eat in Japan?
You might not think of. Well, I mean, if you go, they'll like 100% just eat some ramen. Please eat some ramen.
Eat ramen. Yeah.
Popular, isn't it? What would be the? Any idea?
It depends on your budget as well.
Yeah. Okay, so like I think when we talk about Japanese food, we sort of separate into several categories, or I do anyways. There's the noodle variety. So ramen, udon. There's the sushi variety, which goes from just raw fish to just like the sushi, to like rolls and stuff like that. And then there's
Mm-hmm.
the fried stuff, which is like I don't know, not fried, but like grilled or fried, like yakitori, that sort of thing. And that's like I think most people, and also like the making your own stuff, which is what I call those, anyways. Like okonomiyaki, shabu shabu, and yakiniku. So
Mm.
yeah. So like
You're
those are the
making
few
me
varieties
hungry.
I would. So those are the few categories that I would say go is the most popular styles of food in Japan.
Mm.
But yeah, so like it depends on what you want. Like and Japan has, like, it goes in two very extreme directions. So like things that are really heavy on the taste buds, like with strong flavors like ramen, or
Mm-hmm.
things that are really like simple and like brings out the flavor of
Mm-mm.
the food um, in its freshness, like sushi.
Mm.
So it's like one or the other. So
Mm.
like yeah, at least that's my impression of it, of food in Japan.
What's a tall ice cream?
It's tall ice cream.
You
Tall
mean the
ice
ones
cream?
with like
Tall ice cream?
10 scoops? They have
Oh,
those.
really?
Kuro Masa,
Masasaya.
yeah, said there's tall ice cream. Is that like literally an ice cream that's stacked up high?
Yeah,
I'm just
I
gonna
don't know
search
what
for
it's
that. Oh
called,
my
but
goodness gracious God!
Assuming, yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, they have like ones where it's like you just have a whole bunch of huge scoops. Just
I'm posting this
Oh,
to the chat.
oh,
How do
And
people
that's
eat
what.
them? I have no idea.
oh, nice. Sorry,
Shannon goes, ooh.
Momiji posted a tall ice cream. Um, it looks good. I like that
Very
idea.
pretty.
Oh,
This looks like Harajuku.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What are good dessert foods? What kind of cookies do you
Oh.
guys have in Japan?
Cookies.
Tell me about the
What kind of
cookies.
cookie?
American cookies.
American cookies.
I
Is
buy
it American?
Oreos like daily.
I love Oreos. Put it on screen. Oh yeah, actually I can put it on screen. Give me 1 second.
Oh.
I'll put this on the screen. I just I gotta save it to my computer. Talk amongst yourselves about food while I do this.
Oh, if you're talking about dessert, my favorite is what they call the what's it called? Like the pancakes, the souffle pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh, those are
Um,
yummy.
You mean like the really squishy ones?
yeah, the really squishy ones.
Soft and squishy.
Soft and squishy ones. Those are my favorite in Japan.
Do you
Mm.
guys like eggs? Because what I find that happens is I look at, from the outside, this dessert looks really amazing. And then I eat into it and it just kind of tastes like a custard, it's kind of just like an eggy, like sweet egg type of taste. I'm not really sure. Like I look for it to be like, a regular pancake and then I taste it kind of like a custard taste. I don't know. I think there's a lot of custard tasting like pies and stuff like that. If you're into that.
Mm.
I don't normally
Yeah.
I don't know what there's one called chawamushi.
Mm-hmm.
Chawamushi.
Mhm.
What's
And I
the
get it.
what's a
It's like
charamoshi?
But that's not a dessert.
oh, it's not considered a dessert. A dessert?
No,
Chawamushi.
I don't think so.
Because
It's
every time
it's yeah.
I
I
thought I
think
always
it's a
thought it was
dish,
a
right?
dessert.
It's like it's salty, isn't it? Chawamushi.
I always thought it was like a dessert though, like because it always comes, when you have like those big sets at the hotels, like it always comes on the side in a cup. I always thought like, oh, it must be the dessert.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Romeo, do you have any
No, is
comments on
chawanmushi not a
chawamushi?
dessert?
It's not a dessert.
It's just a dish, right? Yeah.
Seagull says it's a side dish.
Oh my gosh!
And
Yeah.
Kai
But
says
you
it's a
eat it at
savory
the end,
steamed
don't you
egg.
guys? You guys
Tia,
like eat it at the end.
has your whole life been a lie?
Yeah, I'm like surprised because anytime chawanmushi was on my table. It's like everyone else eats it at the end, so I just kind of figured it's a dessert. And I taste it, and I'm like, this does not taste like a dessert. What is this?
It's not a dessert. It's just a dish.
But what happens is what happens, okay, like chawanmushi looks like pudding to me. So
Mhm.
I'll buy something that I think is pudding and it's chawanmushi, and I'm just like, no, I don't want this. I just oh my gosh.
How did I end up buying this again?
So frustrating. But okay, so it's
I-
not a dessert.
I just imagine like Tia like going around town like trying to order food, and every time it ends up being charamushi, and she's like, not again.
No, yeah,
it
it's
happens.
basically steamed egg, and then you put like the most common is shrimp, and like
Oh,
you
gosh.
know, vegetables, and just it's
That's
salty. It's not supposed to be a dessert.
Why? Why? I don't even know what I was. We
It's
can move on.
okay. Romeo, I was wondering.
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite foods?
Me?
Yeah, like
You know, I like Vietnamese food and stuff. I don't really, I don't really, I don't really eat Japanese food, to be honest, because I used to live in Canada, and in Canada, there are so many kinds of people, so
oh
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
they have any kinds of food, right? Chinese
Yes.
food, Vietnamese food, Thai food, and stuff.
Pending, you were looking for another Canadian VTuber. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
Romeo, are you a Canadian VTuber then? Technically, even though you're living in
mean,
Japan.
Yeah. I guess you could say that because I spent most of my time in Canada, and when I came back to
Yeah.
Japan, that was for my that's anyway, enough about me. Yeah, um, I can't really come up with like anything super unique because when it comes to Japanese food, I like ramen, sushi, those kind of generic stuff. But
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Generic stuff is pretty good though. I mean, ramen and sushi is
Mhm.
pretty good.
Oh, that sounds really good.
So,
Mhm.
do you mind if I ask like everybody, what's your favorite Japanese food?
I mean, okay, here's the thing. So
Mhm.
like I used to be pretty into spicy foods because my stomach can't handle it anymore. I've had to scale back. But
Mhm.
for a while, like one of my go-to things to order was like spicy salmon sushi rolls. Those are so good.
Ooh.
And like I put like some wasabi and stuff on top of it, and it was delicious. Unfortunately, I don't do that anymore because I try and avoid the spicy stuff. So I get a lot of California rolls because those are like really good. I I love salmon
Oh,
in all forms.
Mhm.
excellent.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Oh wow, I found my salmon buddy.
I don't know. Are you big into like smoked salmon sandwiches? Because I love.
I love everything salmon.
Yes.
I don't care. I just love salmon so much. I mean,
Yes.
obviously the best is raw for me. I mean, of course,
Mm.
raw salmon belly. Salmon belly is the best. Of course, of course. I gotta say, but anything salmon's it's great. Okay. My love for salmon. I mean, I can't eat a lot usually, but like if I why are you sighing like in the corner when I talk about salmon? Yeah, I just hear Romeo like going, "Oh geez," when I'm talking.
If I let you speak about someone, you're gonna spend like a whole stream speaking about it. So maybe
Okay,
next time.
fine. I'll just say, okay. I can't eat a lot, but if I get salmon in front of me, I have like another stomach basically for it. That's the only thing I can eat like infinitely. I think. Yeah.
That's me and cookies.
Yeah.
I can't. When it comes to meals, like, cause here's the thing, like, as much as I love cookies and as much as you can hear me eating cookies and stuff, I am very much underweight. And it's actually like extraordinarily difficult for me to eat a meal. But when it comes to cookies, there seems to be no limit. and unfortunately that has not helped with my underweight situation. But yeah.
Pending is
Also
adorable.
to
You know,
do with
yeah.
not with a regular schedule.
I know I need to eat more. I need to eat more meals. I usually like okay, so the only meal I'm guaranteed to eat is breakfast, which actually tends to happen around lunchtime because usually I have to work in the morning. And when I don't have to work in the morning, I usually sleep through the morning. So in either scenario, usually the first meal of the day is breakfast, which I eat at lunch, and then I don't.
Lunch, which you eat at dinner.
Well, I don't always eat at dinner.
Hmm.
I haven't eaten at dinner yet, but all this talk of food is making me hungry.
Go order something from
Yeah.
Uber Eats.
I'm tempted to order sushi now in honor of this conversation.
Before streaming, like before the stream, I was literally tweeting about how I wanted some salmon sushi.
Yeah.
I actually was like so hungry. I was like, please, I want some
We
right now.
all just call in Uber Eat and just
Oh,
order
man.
sushi.
I love
Yeah.
chicken curry too.
And then yeah, are we gonna discover Uber Eats in Japan? I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
Tia,
yeah.
are you gonna discover whether your or not your area has Uber Eats?
I am looking it up as we speak.
There's a
Wow.
there's a
Oh,
oh
yeah. there's-
oh broccoli beef. I'm just like sorry, I'm looking at the menu right now. Okay, so there broccoli beef is really good. Chicken katsu, that's another good one. It's like listing things that I've ordered before. Like it puts those at the top of the list. So the things I've ordered from this particular sushi place before were the broccoli beef, the chicken katsu, both excellent choices. California rolls, of course, a staple. Veggie fried rice, or sorry, vegetable fried noodles. Although I also like veggie fried rice, and of course chicken teriyaki, which is another staple. Yeah, those
I
are.
think we're all gonna be hungry after this stream.
Yeah.
Because we're all talking about
Oh.
food. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
eat breakfast as well yet, so it's like
They have
all
salmon
getting this
sashimi,
hungry.
and they have a picture of it too.
Oh, guys, I'm looking at Google Maps and like they have little, I don't know what they're called, like little, what are they called? Pins with pictures on them for like popular land sites. So like Roppongi Hills, Tokyo Tower, the Rainbow Bridge. So it's like easy to pinpoint where they are. Like they have a little Tokyo Tower pin for it. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
kind of cool.
Can I tell you guys something really dumb? As I was browsing through this menu, I just saw something that I read as cheese woman, and I'm like, huh, I have no idea what that says. It says it's 8 pieces. So I guess I'll ask the chat like what is cheese woman, and then I like focus it on it. It's not cheese woman, it's cheese wonton.
She's a woman.
Yeah.
That's weird. What is that?
Yeah, I'm like, I've never heard of that before. I wonder if that's like a specific type of sushi. But no, it's wonton.
That can't be.
Yeah. So that's a thing that just happened. I can't read. Maybe
What
that's
is really good
that's-
about like,
Mhm.
oh, go ahead.
no.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say maybe that's why I accidentally like voted off Momiji when we were both werewolves.
Kuromi.
Yeah.
She'll never
I will
recover from it.
I will never.
I'm
It's-
so sorry.
It's
I felt. You know what? On top of everything else, as soon as I voted you off, I had instant regret because I'm like, oh, like this was Momiji's first game, and I killed her before she could even play.
despite knowing it was my first game.
I know. I felt so bad.
And like he made everybody do it too.
Yeah,
They all
everyone
turned against me.
everyone listened to me.
They all listened to defending and voted me off. It wasn't even like 2 nights in. It was just the first night.
It was
Nobody
the first
died,
night.
and I was the first to die.
Yes.
Was I the first to die?
You were the first to die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you? Yeah, because I think Potion saved the first person
Yeah.
we the wolves tried to kill.
Yeah, like nobody died, and it was just like it wasn't even. They could have chosen not to vote, but no, they just wanted. And you know what? The reason that that Pending wanted to vote me off was that he just wanted to bully me.
It was literally
That
that.
was the reason. That was the reason.
I was
I
just
just
like,
wanted to bully Momiji.
just like
That
going
was
into the
reason.
game.
Everybody went with it.
Just like going into the game, like I'm like I just want to bully Momiji. I just want to vote against her specifically. And then as soon as I did, I'm like I feel really bad about this now. And then I found out afterwards that she was one of the wolves, which I should have known that, because had I looked at her, I would have seen that she had voted with us during the wolf phase, but I messed up and I didn't notice that she voted. I thought for some reason, even though Asu said that there would be 3 wolves, I thought that there was only 2. And I was thinking during the game, it's like, I'm gonna ask Asu about this, like, who was supposed to be the 3rd wolf? and then
And like it wasn't even a legitimate reason. Like that's that. Okay, so apparently Shad died first. Anyways, it wasn't
did
even a
Shad die
legitimate
first?
reason. It was just like, oh, I just want to bully Momiji.
I
I'm like,
just
you know,
wanted to
she's not
bully-
suspicious at all. I just wanted to bully her
Yeah,
and just
it's-
kill her.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, yeah, that's a good reason.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You were the streamer. I wanted to bully the streamer. It's all I know.
So anyways, let's go back to the main topic about the stream.
Yes. What was I gonna ask? Oh yeah. So this kind of ties back into something that we were talking about a bit ago. So we talked a bit ago about like how hard is it to get around in Japan if you don't know Japanese. I was wondering, just as kind of a small follow up to that, assuming you don't know Japanese and you're going for the first time, is there any like particular words or phrases that are of like special helpfulness that you should?
Get
What's the phrase?
Tasukete.
Tasukete? What's that mean?
Help.
Help?
Yeah.
Is it
Help.
Tasukete?
Yeah,
Well,
pretty much.
it
Yeah,
literally
it is help. It's just help.
Mm.
Yeah,
Just help.
It's help.
Is there any other good ones that I should know?
トイレはどこですか?
Korewa
The
doko
one
desu ka?
phrase that like foreigners know.
Is
Yeah.
that's
Where's
it?
the toilet?
Where's the toilet?
Is that
It's a
is
very important
Korewa
question.
doko desu ka? Where's the toilet?
トイレはどこですか?
Toilet wa doko desu ka?
Yes.
Yep.
Where's the toilet? It's a very important question.
How could I say in Japanese, I'm sorry, I don't know Japanese. I only know how to say that one phrase and then this phrase explaining that one phrase.
To say that, you would have to know something.
Yeah, you would have to know Japanese.
Like I always find it very, very interesting. I mean, like it makes sense to say it in the language, but like when you say I don't know a language in that language, does that not mean you already know the language to a certain extent?
Probably, unless you learned exclusively that one phrase.
Yeah, I think a lot of people learned that one phrase just to be able to say, I don't.
Yeah.
I know
but,
I
like,
could say that in
that's
like
just
Spanish and.
strange. That is so strange. Like you go to a place and you just tell the person.
Oh yeah, go
like,
to a
for example-
place.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then you go like, sorry, like for example in Japanese, すいません、日本語わからないです. Oh, 日本語わかりません. And then you're like, but you're already speaking in Japanese. Wouldn't it be better to go just like in English, go, no Japanese, you know?
I guess so.
Well, I mean,
Sorry.
I think if they're gonna learn like that they can't speak Japanese, either use it like, for example, if someone's like really coming at you in Japanese, like, oh hey, we're in a country, yeah, I used to go there, and like I think in that situation, yeah, you gotta say I can't speak with you. But if it's just kind of like, just kind of everyday or I don't know if there's even like a situation where a Japanese person, would just come up to a random tourist, or ask for like directions or anything like that. I think it would be the opposite way around.
That's true. That's true.
Mm.
Maybe learn
And also,
a group of phrases.
Wakari
also,
nai desu?
Kai has. わからないです。
Wakari
あ
nai
の
desu.
I don't understand. Yeah, I
Oh.
think Kai has a really good one. すみません、英語わかりますか? So, do you understand English? Or something
Oh,
like that, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. That's a
Okay,
good one.
pending. If you lose your wallet, you should go up to someone and say "okane kure."
Okane kure.
Just like that.
What's
Just
that
like
mean?
that. Give me money.
I'm joking.
Are you
Don't do
trying
that.
to get him arrested?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
What does that mean?
It just means give me money. Like, yeah, you're trying to rob
Literally.
someone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should have mug. Yeah.
It might be more effective if you had a knife in your hand or something like that.
Okay. How do I
You
how
start using a really rough tone as
Mm.
well.
Yeah. You can do it in your like virus. No, not virus. That's Maple's voice. Sorry.
Mm.
Yeah, like but like your really deep like Gretel voice and say okane kure.
Make sure you have a temporary tat on your neck.
kure.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there we go. You will have so many friends.
Oh yeah.
How do I say give me cookie, please?
Just change
Cookie
the
kure?
cookie. Yeah.
Cookie
They'll probably call the cops because I think that's more scary. Some crazy guy asking for cookies. That's suspicious. Mhm. Try it.
Oh,
Yeah, I
another
mean,
thing
like
that's
recently, there's people that go out, like they have their phones and like they just record and ask Japanese people to like hang out with them, and
yeah.
people are pretty cool,
Yeah.
Mm.
No, like I mean, you can totally ask someone to record okane kure. And
Yeah, like just be like,
play
hey, can
it
you record
back.
this?
Mm.
or even cookie kure. I'm pretty sure people would be happy to do it for you.
I think
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're just trying to make Penn get arrested.
If I visit Momiji, if I visit Japan, and if you're okay with this, we'll just kind of we'll meet up and then we'll walk down the street and I'm gonna point to various people like, can you ask them for a cookie? Can you ask them for...
Can like point to a random person. Can you ask that person for cookies, please? That would be. I'm sorry.
And so and then you'll just go up to them and it's just like, please ignore my friend. What was I gonna? I had so I've been writing down some questions from chat, and I wanted to like ask the questions before we wrap things up.
Okay.
So okay, one of them was Siegel wanted to know how expensive is healthcare in Japan. If any of you guys know.
There's national health care in Japan.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
What you pay for.
Yeah, that you pay for. How much you pay for healthcare depends on how much you make per year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Tax deducted. So like it's different for everybody. But for a student who doesn't make a lot of money or makes no money, you have to pay about like what 1,400 per month.
I think that also depends on if you're a foreigner or not too, because
Yes.
while I was a student, like mine was also 1,000 or 2,000 yen. But even after I became a student, I'm only like 5,000, around 5,000 yen. Whereas for Japanese people, if they are in a company, even though it's still expensive, the company takes it out of their paycheck, so it's a little bit cheaper than if you're not shine or like how do you say? I don't know how to say it in English.
正社員ありがとう。
正社員, like
Like
a
a
company
like a
worker, like a blue collar Yeah.
Like a
Okay, like that.
contract, not a contract.
Yeah,
but still
contract.
like
That's
a
it. That's it. It's
Contract.
kind of yeah.
Yeah.
So like if you're not a contract worker for a company, it'll actually get more expensive, surprisingly.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Even though like you might make less, it depends. Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
But for foreigners, I don't think it goes that. I don't know. In my experience, it doesn't go
Yeah.
that high.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Uh,
Mhm.
Alex Fox just asked, and this was actually something I wanted to ask about earlier, and I completely forgot. So he asked specifically if you guys have been to the uh, Sao Fox Village, but I wanted to extend that, and I wanted to ask about because like I know there's like I think there's like a pig island. It might not be a pig island, but there's like a pig island where you can visit all these little pigs, and I think like there's a lot of like animal cafes in Japan,
Mm.
and like I think there's other islands with various animals. Like I wanted to know about those things. I don't know specifically what the question is. Oh, like how I guess first off, how popular are those cafes, and like how easy are they to find and stuff? Like, is it fairly easy to find like cafes and like animal cafes in general and those kind of things?
I don't think it's
There are
as
quite a
popular.
there are a
Mhm.
few. There are a few. I mean, I went to
Yeah.
one. I've been
Really?
to one. Yeah, I've been to a cat cafe. I went to a cat cafe in Osaka, and
Mm-hmm.
I'd say there. I think they're like all pretty far from each other actually, but there's like you can find a couple. I'd say there. It's not like so off like so common, but like you can find. They're not.
Sorry. It depends on where you're. I mean, like if for example Tokyo, um, Harajuku has like the streets are lined with animal cafes, literally.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
I walk two steps down and there's like one cat cafe, and then like another two steps and there's like a harinezumi, which is like a hedgehog cafe,
I want to
and
go to the
like
Hedgehog Cafe.
a few stores down is like an owl cafe or like a Shiba Inu cafe, like a dog cafe. My current favorite one that I've been to is Kawauso, which is what otters? Yeah, see, the Japanese otter cafe, and those are adorable. But yeah, that's
Can can you?
I guess it's more common in like the city area, maybe.
Mm,
In Osaka, at least it was like pretty spread out. Well, that was. I think there's like a mix of dog and cat mostly there. I didn't really see
yeah.
any hedgehog or like otter ones there, but yeah.
I mean, otters are pretty recent, I think.
can you?
How easy is it to see? Because like when I know that there's a lot, but if I'm not looking, like it's kind of surprisingly there are a lot of ones that are like on the second floor or are
Yeah,
really in a small building, like maybe like you
Mm.
go in and then you have to go into the elevator, and it's like the second door in the back. You know what I mean? So I don't know how easy it is to notice them. I don't really notice them often, but then if I'm looking like on my phone, they come
hmm
up pretty quickly for sure.
yeah.
Mm.
Um, um, like it depends on the area as well. I mean, cat
Um,
cafes are the most common that you'll
yeah,
find
for
like
sure.
scattered around Japan,
Hmm.
but like it depends on where you are in Tokyo as well. So Ikebukuro has quite a few, I know, and Harajuku definitely has like a lot. Um, so
Hmm.
Harajuku is, I think, is the highest concentration that I know of currently. I can't 100% confirm or deny that, but yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, it depends on the location.
Um.
I mean, Romeo, have you been to any animal cafes?
No, because I have a cat. I don't have to.
Oh.
I have the
Still
best
go
one.
to an animal cafe even with a cat.
That's true.
Yeah.
Also.
Yes, many you can get 10 times the cat amount of cats. Yeah.
So what's like a typical experience when you like go to one of these animal cafes? Like you what I'm assuming happens is you walk in, you order like some kind of drink or what have you, pastry, and then the animals are kind of roaming around, or is it like is there like a specific area where the animals are? Like, how does that work?
They call it a cafe, but in all honesty, it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, it's
So
not.
you go, it's not. So you go in, and there's
Mhm.
more often than not like a register, like a I guess yeah register, and
Mhm.
then the register only takes up a very little space, and then afterwards the actual room is like quartered off, so it's shut off so the animals don't escape, obviously. And then you pay for how long you want to stay.
Mm.
So, for example, if it's a cat cafe, I want to stay for half an hour, and it's like a certain amount of money for half an hour, and then like it increases, at per half hour or something like that. And then so you go in, and then they'll often offer one free drink. Um,
Mhm.
and but the drink is like something you get from a vending machine, so like a coffee or like a hot chocolate or something like that from a vending machine. And then you'd go into the room with all the animals, and then basically you spend most of the time playing with the animals and not yeah, and so there's no food provided or anything like that.
Okay, so
Mm.
food drinks. That's really not part of the service.
No.
Yeah,
Um,
not.
when you go to the room with the animals, are you and say if you're bringing some people with you, are you guys alone with the animals, or like is there a lot of people there at the same time?
A lot of
A
people.
lot
A
of
lot of
people.
people. Yeah.
Hmm.
And the animals are done.
Are the animals all
Mm.
too tired to really care about the people?
They're just kind of like,
No, they're just kind of there. They're just kind of
They're just kind of
moving,
there.
like roaming
Yeah.
around, lying down, maybe, doing
Yeah.
their
Hmm.
own thing.
Doing their own thing. And like with cat cafes, I know for sure you can't pick up the cats is what most
mm,
often the rule is. So you can pet them,
Hmm.
you can't pick them up. So like
That's fair.
they'll come to you, or or you can go up to a cat and pet them and stuff like that. But like yeah, I mean like some places like with the hedgehog cafes, I know you can pick up the hedgehog a lot of, but their hedgehogs are tiny, and most of the time they're like curled up in a ball just waiting for people to bother them. um
Hmm.
there's also most cafes, um if you pay extra you can get like snacks for the animals to feed
Oh, that
mm.
sounds nice.
to the animals, yeah, so there's that too.
Hmm.
And that's the only time animals will ever crowd you, is when you have food.
Hmm. Never.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, there's not a lot of like kitten cat
Mm,
cafes that have a lot of the older cats, so they're a little bit more. I mean, obviously,
Mm.
you get a playful cat, they'll play with you, but like most of the cats, are just doing what cats do.
yeah. Just lying
Yeah,
around,
yeah, looking at you.
enjoying life as a cat.
That that reminds me randomly. This is only loosely related, but just so I went to Niagara Falls and there's like a bird sanctuary there, and I was there with a bunch of people. One being like my niece who was maybe 3 years old at the time, and there was this thing where like you could go into this enclosed space, and there was a bunch of like I can't remember which bird it was, but it was like a big bird, and
Big Bird was there.
Big Bird
Big
was
bird.
there. There was like a bunch of them. They were like falcons or something. So
Jesus, what falcons?
or something. I can't remember. I just remember they were like really big birds. So what the idea was, you go into this enclosed space with the trainer, and the trainer like kind of positions you like so that you're holding out your arms or whatever, and then it the trainer kind of signals to the birds, and all the birds like land on you as if you're a tree, and you're just supposed to stay still for like a minute, and then uh someone that's sitting outside of the caged area takes a couple pictures of you, and then the trainer tells the birds to get off you, basically. So my niece really loved the idea, but she didn't like the idea of her herself doing it, so she pushed me in there. So I stood in there, and all the birds landed on me, and it was kind
Oh,
of cool.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. but I've never been to an animal cafe. I like the idea of like
Yeah.
just hanging out. What's like the ratio of like animals to people in these animal cafes?
Depends on the place. I think sometimes they have like a set number that can come in.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, like with the owl cafes, they have like it's not a line, but you're kind of walking like in a zoo, so you're kind of walking in the same direction. Whereas in the cat cafe, it's like an enclosed space, so like there's people all around sitting and playing with their cats, but obviously you can't have that many people inside, so there'll only be a couple, maybe like 10 per se.
Yeah, they'll limit it for sure.
Yeah, I heard about one cat cafe in Toronto, in relation to what Seagull was saying, but I thought it had like a controversy about like the treatment of the animals or something, and then it got shut down. So I don't know if that's the case or if it reopened or if there's other ones that uh weren't. The thing is, I live in. I don't live in Toronto proper. I live like about an hour's drive away from Toronto. So even though it's easier to say I'm in Toronto, the from a practical standpoint, it's actually like fairly inconvenient for me to go to downtown Toronto. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, because there's a lot more stuff in Toronto.
Gotcha.
Oh, so okay. There's more questions from chat that I wanted to ask. Ty Marshall asked, "What's the most popular sport in Japan besides baseball and pro wrestling?" Because I know those sports are huge. That was his question.
Rugby, maybe.
Oh, rugby. I actually don't see a. Well, like personally don't look at sports all that much. So soccer.
I think soccer was big at my school. Rugby, they had like
rugby only became popular like these like 2 years though, because they did the rugby Olympic, or what was that, World Cup, Olympic, Japanese team did well, right? So that's the only reason it's being popular right now. It wasn't as popular as it wasn't as popular before, but now it is. So what else? Soccer and
right.
Japan
does pretty well in soccer, right? Like they're. So I assume soccer's fairly popular there.
Honda Keisuke.
Huh?
Is Honda Keisuke soccer?
Honda Keisuke.
そうでしょ?
そうそれ.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't even know players, so I don't know.
Like he's the really hot one that keeps coming on the commercials.
Oh, is he?
Oh.
He's the funny one.
It's the only reason you know him.
Well, I mean, because I think they won the World Cup. I don't know if it's a World Cup of soccer. I don't know what they won, but it was like maybe 1 or 2 years back, and he was like the main star, and he just came out everywhere and anywhere on, TV, on brands. It was all over. But he was hot, so that's why he was, like everyone thought he was hot.
Funny guy. He's very funny. He's quite a character. He's a unique person.
Yeah.
That's why, when he says stuff, it's just it's just kind of weird and it's funny. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of sports where there's Japanese players that have like come to North America, because like obviously baseball, but baseball was already mentioned. I'm trying to think if there's like any. I'm fairly certain there's no Japanese players in the NHL. In fact,
there's well, in America, I know on the baseball team for New York Yankees, Japanese player. I forgot his name. Oh, his name so popular. Nobody knows. Blanks. Sorry.
Well,
That was like really specific, like New York Yankees.
so well, I mean, we're in between seasons right now, but I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah, Masahiro Tanaka.
Mm. Mm, mm, mm.
He was born in Japan. He was in the All-Star game last year. He's one of the pitchers for the Yankees. So that it's possible that's who you're thinking of.
Wait, it was kind of like something Uchi, I think.
Uchi?
I don't know, man. He might be retired and everything. I'm gone.
I mean, there's also things like the martial arts, so karate and
right.
stuff like
Right.
that. So that's also something fairly big. Judo, karate, kendo. There you go.
Right.
And obviously there's the sumo wrestling, but that's not really like a it's more like a culture / sport intermix is what it feels like to me, anyways.
Or gamble,
Yeah, more like it.
gamble.
And then also it's a sport, but it's also a gamble. And another thing is racing.
Rui Hachimaru is apparently in the NBA. I'm not super familiar with the NBA. So.
I don't know how good Japan is. Their rugby team is, but for some odd reason, at my schools, they would take in international students from, I think, is a country named Tonga, the country. Is
Tonga?
there? Yeah, the country's name is Tonga, I think.
Yes,
right?
Tonga.
Yes, Tonga. So they took students from Tonga just to play rugby for them. So like, it was like they came on a rugby scholarship and they were like huge. Oh my god, it was like it's like I knew why they chose those guys for the team. But I don't know if it was just like I don't know like Romeo said, maybe it was just because recently it started getting popular. So they're like, yeah, we gotta win. So like the schools are really getting into it, and they just like have a whole team of Tonga students.
So Tonga is ranked 13th in the world as far as men's rugby goes.
Oh.
Japan's actually ranked 8th. Apparently Japan.
Wow.
In terms of rugby, Japan's right up there.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. This is new information to me, by the way. I don't just possess this information. I just looked it up on Wikipedia.
Wiki.
Yeah. Canada is 22nd in the world, which is higher than I would have thought Canada is. Though I guess it kind of makes sense because even though rugby isn't like the biggest sport here, I do know that
people do play it.
Yeah, exactly. It does have definitely a following in Canada, even if like obviously hockey is like huge in Canada. Basketball, baseball, both watch quite a bit. Kind of thing. Curling, of course. Curling's very big. Actually, I wonder if curling's big in Japan. Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like Sweden.
Curling. I don't know about curling, but I know curling is surprisingly big in Canada.
Yeah. When it comes to the Olympics, curling tends to be one of the sports Canada is the most dominant in.
I am not looking forward to the Olympics.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be in Tokyo soon.
No. Yeah,
run away.
It's gonna be fun. Well, and like don't forget like on 2020 Olympics, and then 2025 is the World Expo, also in Japan.
I will be moving to Okayama-ken, all the way down west, down west. I guess.
From what I know, it's gonna be in Osaka, the World Expo.
Oh, I don't know what those trains are. During, before, after. Oh my god, that's That's gonna be
Yeah,
a lot.
the 2022 Winter Olympics will be in Beijing. It's
Oh,
it's gonna be
Yep,
interesting
it's
to
decided.
see. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if the NHL goes to that one because the NHL skipped the last Winter Olympics, but
Ah.
uh, which was a deviation for them from previous years. But the NHL obviously it has had some ambitions as far as like trying to spread grow hockey in China, so it would make some marketing sense for them to potentially play in Beijing. So we will see.
We shall see.
Yes,
cool.
yes, indeed. Um,
That wow,
mhm,
Beijing really popular for the Olympics recently, huh?
mhm.
It was just like
Yeah.
how many years now?
What?
The
20.
last,
What? 26.
was it 26, 28, 20, one of those
Yeah, it
For
was
the
like
Summer
really
Olympics,
recent.
right?
The last.
Summer Olympics? Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
fairly recent.
Well,
yeah. I can look this up.
The
Well, there
last.
was
so
no.
guys, did you
Oh, 2008 was Beijing Summer
Yeah,
Olympics.
2008. There you go.
Yeah.
did you guys see all of the mascots for the Tokyo Olympics? I like the ones they chose, but I actually like the other ones just as much. They had like this like big not
Oh
big but maybe
yeah, they're cute.
3 sets of characters that you could choose from, and they decided with these characters. I like them, but there was another one that was a little bit cuter for my taste.
Hmm.
I don't know, but they're
Yeah,
pretty
I'm
cute.
looking at the
They're
mascot
well done.
shortlist.
Mm-hmm.
Of the mascot shortlist, actually, I wonder if I can show this on the screen. I probably can.
Are there copyrights?
Show it.
I mean, I would imagine it's copyrighted, but at the same time, I would imagine mascots fall under fair use? Question mark.
Sure.
I don't know. I will show this for but a moment. What the
For but
mascot
a moment.
what the mascot shortlist was, so people can see it. Hang on, I gotta fit this to screen. How do I do that? Oh, this button over
Yeah.
here.
You know
Okay,
what their names are? I don't know what their names are.
so if you look at the picture that's now on the screen, um the the ones on the left, the two leftmost ones are the ones that they went with. The one I kind of like the most is like the upper middle. That one looks really cute to me.
Yeah. Like I like the middle ones too. I just felt like they
Yeah, I like
looked
the
a
two
little
middle
bit
ones
more
are so cute.
Pokemon, you know.
Yeah. Here,
Yeah,
I.
they look more like traditional Japanesey.
Mm.
They were a little cuter, but I like the ones that they chose are kind of I don't know. The theme is really like I don't know, futurish kind of.
Yeah, like it's more like a futuristic. It you know what it reminds me of? NASCAR racing.
Yeah,
It actually, yeah, kind of.
true.
So yeah, I mean like it's got the checkers and everything.
Yes.
So yeah,
Mm.
I don't know their names. They will learn them.
they're cute. They are cute.
Mm. Oh, here's a question that was asked that kind of tied into what the sports question. Uh, Raven Skull was wondering about scuba diving spots in Japan. I guess that's not really a sports question. The reason why I thought it was is because I read it as scuba diving sports, and then I realized I read it wrong. But besides that, I guess, do any of you know anything about scuba diving?
I do.
Oh, go for it.
um. So I mean like I don't know about Tokyo. I do know there are scuba diving spots near Tokyo. I think. Um. But what Okinawa is the biggest scuba diving what would you call it like tourist spot because it does have really nice coral and the water is really nice and you can do it almost year round because the weather is fairly warm all the time not all the time but like a lot of the time and and they have several types of scuba diving. So they do this snorkeling, which is sort of like a I'm pretty sure you guys know what snorkeling is, like the halfway in the water, but you're like only on the surface. And then
Mhm.
they do the actual scuba diving with the tanks and everything. And you don't really need a license to do that scuba diving.
Right.
So a tour guide will take you down. They'll, you'll look at the little pretty corals, and they'll take pictures for you with an underwater camera, which is really nice as well. And then you can feed the fishes, I think, sometimes depending on the on the area. Sometimes they don't
Mm-hmm.
allow that because you'll sort of disrupt the environment. Um, but there's another type, which is like of scuba diving adventures, I guess you'd call it, which is kind of famous and popular for tourists in Okinawa for scuba diving, is to dive with the whale sharks. Yeah.
Oh,
So
really?
they'll do like a whale. They'll have this whale shark area. Um, so they quarter it off with like a large net and stuff like that. But there's like a whale shark that they have there, and then you can scuba dive with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another one I know of. So
Cool.
yeah, yeah.
Diving with the sharks.
Yeah.
Diving with the shark.
Whale sharks seem nice. Is that dangerous though?
They
No,
seem nice.
they're huge. Whale sharks are humongous, but they eat like they don't actually eat. Well, I wouldn't say they don't eat meat. They do, like they eat plankton
Oh,
more
I
than
thought you were gonna
anything.
stop at they don't actually eat.
Yeah, I
They
was.
No, no, no,
consume
no,
no
no, no, no.
food.
Like, I was gonna say like meat, but like no, they do eat meat. But plankton tends to be their like, and really tiny fishies tend to be their yeah, their diet. But they are huge.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And they're fairly, I wouldn't say docile, but like they're, despite being named sharks, they're more similar to whale variety than shark. But yeah, if that makes any sense.
Boy, scary.
Oh no, Knight, are you sorry, so Knight is sick. I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, I hope you feel better soon.
Being sick sucks.
Definitely. Um, okay. Another question. Ty Marshall,
Mhm.
was wondering what is one major thing you should never do when you go to Japan? Like,
Oh.
I guess like a something you might not think of that seems like acceptable, like in other places, but would be frowned upon in Japan, or I guess really anything. Um,
I think Japanese people really like Japan. I mean, um, really have a lot of pride in the country and a lot of stuff in the.
mm,
I think you'll get asked a lot of questions about, like, particularly to what you like about Japan, and not so much about, like, oh, is it difficult living in Japan? You know what I mean? So at least in first conversation wise, I would stay away from anything like, yeah, Japan doesn't have this, or Japan's really hard with that. Like, obviously it's just light, joking around, but I think it
mm,
could be interpreted a different way, because normally, like, in the beginning, you'll always get, how you like in Japan, what's your favorite food, what you like about Japan, and then it kind of follows up with, oh yeah, yeah, that's really great here. So there's a lot of pride
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
You can't
right.
really do the joking, like, if someone comes to America, I'd be like, "What? You like America? I hate it here." Like, as a kind of like lighten the mood kind of thing. I wouldn't do that. Just on
Right.
the first, get to know someone
Yeah,
Right.
first.
definitely. Wouldn't do. I wouldn't like and I think that just goes around with like everywhere in the world, right? But just don't be a bother to other people, if that makes sense. I know in Japanese it's very specific, and they go like "meiwaku kakenai yoni," you know, just don't be a, just don't be a bother to other people, which is, I
Mm,
guess, like common sense.
right.
Mm.
But it seems like something that everybody has and keeps in mind, in Japanese people, is like, I don't want to be a bother, I don't want to bother other people, I don't want to cause trouble, or that sort of thing is a very prominent thought idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, someone said don't tip the waiters. That's
Oh yes, don't tip the waiters.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that one before. It's considered rude? Question mark?
Y-
I
yes.
guess. I mean, I don't know if you left money on the table.
They'll chase you out and give it back to you.
Yeah, they would have to give it back. What am I supposed to do with this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because
But yeah.
The waiters is big.
especially if you go to a restaurant in Canada, I know this is also the same for the States and maybe other places as well.
Yeah.
Tipping waiters is like considered the norm.
It's their salary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to them.
Speaking of eating, you shouldn't. Please
Oh, yeah,
don't open up anything on the train.
Oh yes, yes.
For the
Don't eat on the
Japanese
train.
people and everyone on the train, just in general, do not eat on the train, especially something smelly. Don't. I mean, it's kind of, at first when you hear the Japanese rules for the train, you think, oh wow, that's really like strict, or yeah, they're really, you can't really like talking on that. But then when you actually experience it, because like everyone's not doing that. And then you have just that one person, especially if they're sitting next to like someone's putting on makeup, and it's just like obviously, the seats are small and their arm is moving, so it's like it's in your face, you know what I mean? Or if you're like really quiet, everyone's quiet. It's a nice soft ride because the trains don't rock, and then you hear that one person just yelling on their phone, it's kind of annoying.
Right.
So follow the train rules, I would say.
Yeah.
Does anyone have like additional things to make sure you don't do when you're in Japan?
No, not really.
Not really, yeah.
So I'll ask, how different is it finding food areas? That might have been how difficult is finding food areas in Japan. Like, is it hard to find a restaurant, or if you're just like kind of wandering around and not really sure where to go, or are they?
I mean, it depends on the area. Like there's always, one or, in the more, I wouldn't say rural, but like in areas that are sort of away from train stations and stuff, because train stations tend to have the largest gathering of food restaurants and that sort of things, in my opinion. Like the further away, there is going to be like, little shops that have, like family owned stuff, or like things that have been, again, as like Tia said before, like owned by people who are in the older generation, like 40s and 50s, and they've been working there for like a long time, or their own shop, that sort of thing, that you find more further away from major train station, like from train stations. But it's not that hard to find food, I would say. Depends on the food you want to find, really. If you want specialty food, like a specific sort of, like food, then maybe it's a little bit more difficult. But and again, and I noticed this, but it's been changing recently. So if you're a vegetarian, it's a little bit harder to find food in Japan.
Right.
Vegetarians are for travelers who are
the no gluten.
vegetarians or vegans. No, you have no gluten, so it's a little bit harder for those people. There are stores, but they're not as popular. Yeah.
I don't think, do they have? I was watching someone else's, how even if you try to look for no gluten, like what's it? I forgot. Like even if you're like even for vegetarians, if you ask like if there's niku in this, then they automatically think, like niku meat from like cows and
Yeah.
pigs. That's so, fish, you also have to it's kind of like separate. So
Yeah,
you'd have
yeah,
to
yeah.
also ask, like no meat, no fish kind of thing. And like gluten free, I don't think I've heard of I don't know, I've never heard of a gluten free store here. It might be kind of hard.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true. I don't even know how to say gluten in Japanese, to be honest.
Yeah.
Is it just gluten? But I've never heard of it or seen
I
it
don't know.
before. So, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, specialized allergies. I mean, like, if you mention that, you know, I have allergies, they'll be careful about it. But like, it's sometimes it's hard for them. You ask like, oh, do you have peanuts in that? Because I have peanut allergy.
Uh,
A lot of the times, like, I don't personally have peanut
mm,
allergy, but like, for example, if you have peanut allergy, but like sometimes they're like, yeah, actually asked something similar once. I didn't like truffle in one of my dishes, so I was like, do you have truffle in that? And they're like, well, there's I don't know if there's gonna be truffle oil in that, but like,
yeah.
there shouldn't in the normal menu, but like, you know, like things like that. So like, you know, it's really difficult for them, especially yeah, for you know, like, specialized dietary needs. It's a little Japanese people are a little less concerned about that because I don't think peanut allergy is very common in Japan, for
I don't.
example.
I've
Yeah,
never met someone.
yeah. And Roku says he's vegetarian, so you worry about that. If you do come to Japan, um, you don't really have to, like. I mean, there's no vegetarian, well, no, there are actually vegetarian restaurants, so you don't have to worry about that. There are options. They're just not as common, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
Yeah, there are options. Like, I actually, and they have been increasing recently, from what I understand. I actually recently bought um a book on eating vegetarian food in Tokyo, and like, they, you know, like, introduce restaurants that are vegetarian. I
Oh,
actually want to
okay.
do a video about that. Just like, you know,
Hmm.
go to a restaurant and just, you know, this is a just introduce, like, you know, various vegetarian restaurants in the area. But I was actually thinking about that, so that actually came
Good.
into
Yeah.
mind.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, like, special dietary needs in particular are difficult in Japan.
Right. Yeah, I would imagine it's even uh, tougher if you're going for vegan instead of vegetarian.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Um, I think that was the last question that I wrote down from chat. Did anyone chat wise? Did you guys have any like last questions you wanted to ask before we uh wrap things up? I will give a couple seconds. Oh, well, while they're doing that, um,
Hmm?
Mm?
there was one more there was one thing I wanted to ask, but I'm kind of worried it might be too big of a question to ask this late in the thing. I'll just ask a more generalized one.
Give us like a 3 minute.
Yeah. I guess like if I'm going to Japan for the first time,
Mhm.
how, let's say I'm going there for 2 weeks. How much of Japan should I really anticipate being able to see in a 2 week stint? Would it be more
It
realistic to
depends on
like pick a city and just
where.
say I'm staying in that city, or could you like travel around reasonably during that period of time?
I would
Honestly, well,
say.
if well, my personal opinion is that no matter how many times like I've gone already, even I go like how many times a year, right? I
Mm-hmm.
would say that you should just pick a city if you're going for 2 weeks to fully experience
Mhm.
it. You won't even fully experience it, honestly, even with 2 weeks. So I would say if you want to enjoy it and not feel rushed, I would say pick a city.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like, if you want to fully enjoy a city, you should stay a little longer. But if you want to do like a speed tour, so just see as most of Japan as possible, I'd say. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can hit well, not all, like quite a few of the major tourist areas in Tokyo with like what 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, that's.
Yeah. Like it's a little harder. It's a little harder if you go to Kyoto because there's like a heck of a lot of places. But if you're not like, oh, I don't mind not seeing all of the temples in Kyoto because there's quite a bit.
Right, right.
Again, hitting the few, like major places. But Kyoto would probably take a little bit longer than Tokyo. But Tokyo definitely like 3-4 days just to hit just the major places, if you know what I mean, like the fish market or like Tokyo Tower or Asakusa, that sort of thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Alex Fox asked about a life-size Gundam. Is that a thing? Is there like
Yes.
where is that?
Wasn't that Odaiba? Isn't it?
Odaiba.
I've
I've
it
seen it. I
is-
haven't. I wanna-
It's still there.
Is Odaiba in Tokyo?
違くない? I don't think so. Was it?
お台場ですよ。
お台場って東京だったっけ?
お台場。
Is
東京っていうより
Tokyo and Chiba's baby.
Yeah, it's sort of in Tokyo, but like it's not exactly in Tokyo, if you know what I mean.
Odaiba is its
It's
own
near
island,
Tokyo?
man.
Oh, Odaiba is its own
Yes.
Well,
island?
I mean,
No,
it's,
no.
no, it's not.
Okay, if
like
you
a
go
literal
from
island.
if you go from Tokyo to Odaiba, it will take about an hour.
Oh, okay.
Tokyo
train?
Station or
Tokyo Station. I don't know actually. Like Tokyo Station or Shinjuku. I can't. Whichever. It will take.
it says the closest is. So if you go to Tokyo Tower, which would be like near Hamamatsucho, which sorry, I guess that's too specific. Oh, don't mind me. Okay. Well, if you go to Tokyo Tower, you can go to Odaiba pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like So it depends on where you are in Tokyo, but it's sort of like on the outskirties, but like close enough to that you can sort of consider it part of Tokyo, if you know what I mean.
Right.
But it's a huge, apparently, as Asa says, it's a 1-to-1 model, so it's huge.
That sounds really cool.
The address.
Well, thank you guys so much for this. Did any of you have like last things you wanted to say?
Japan is fun. It has lots of yum.
Definitely.
Don't think that you're gonna lose weight if you come here because
Oh gosh.
the sweets.
No, you gain weight.
No,
Yes.
yeah.
Lies.
Lies. It's all lies. But yeah, no, I like Tokyo. I like Japan in general. I enjoy life here, so like, yeah, definitely come visit if you have a chance. And also
Yes.
definitely contact any of us. We're definitely, well, I'm saying us, but I don't know about everybody else. I'm just saying it in their in their name. But like we're
Yeah.
definitely willing to take you around and stuff like that. Yeah,
Thank you. It would certainly help if I knew people that could help me.
definitely.
So we should have like a VTuber karaoke party.
That would
Oh,
be
yes.
amazing.
Oh.
Yes, that would be
no.
cool.
2020. No.
Momiji can
That would
sing.
be-
She can do it. Momiji can do it.
Yeah. Everywhere.
I mean, I love
You're coming
singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Romeo, you're gonna join us too.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who hates singing? Am I the only one?
I guess so.
Hate singing?
I think so.
You
Yeah.
hate singing?
That's
Yeah,
a
because,
lie. Didn't you post like a song on Twitter?
Only recently because my
Yeah,
my
but that's a
colleague
lie.
my colleague told me like once you are good at acting but your singing sucks and that kind of traumatized me.
Don't worry about
But
it.
since then,
Don't worry about it. I mean, like singing isn't about being good or bad. It's just about having fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like that-
I mean, in general, sure, but for a job, you gotta be good at it.
Well, I
Yeah, I know,
guess
but
if it's
like-
your job, but
True.
but
I
in
feel like Japanese people in general are just really good at karaoke. Like, surprisingly, you'll find a lot of people that can really sing in karaoke.
You know, I find it just funny that he said that he got traumatized because he told me I had Twitch sings the other day and then he told me like wow, you singing like like I was like after that I was like, wow, you're so rude to me.
I was joking, you know.
Romeo.
Giving back the
But-
trauma.
But she was
How
singing
could you?
One Direction song, and those kind of stuff, boys band songs. Of course, I gotta. I.
So.
はい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。俺が悪かったよ。ごめんなさい。
罰として歌ってください。
いやいや、関係ない。関係ない。
関係ある。
あれは、これは日本語で言う、それはそれ、これはこれだから。
いや、同じことです。
同じこと
But you said it earlier, but we have it in like the VOD. not the video.
There's evidence.
There's evidence. So you're gonna sing. Even if it's not here, you will sing.
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah.
What if I organize a karaoke stream? Romeo, would
Ooh.
you come to the karaoke stream?
I mean, sure, yeah, I will join you. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll join you for anything, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
Got it.
Yeah, I will.
So
I will
you guys
do that.
heard it. You guys heard it.
I will do that because I love karaoke streams. So I will organize a karaoke stream at some point.
Yay!
All sing One Direction, including
Sure.
me.
I don't know any One Direction songs, but if you give me the lyrics, I'll sing them.
Yep.
Oh no.
I don't know you.
I mean, Hiiro likes, One Direction, right? Don't you?
Stop, please. No. Like, no. No, I don't. Wow, to
teach
everybody's
us in it.
surprise. Stop, please. I'm actually traumatized from that. Like
What's
yeah, it was a funny stream, but singing One Direction and then singing Backstreet Boys, all these
Also
songs.
being drunk.
Oh, I know a Backstreet
Yeah.
Boys song. I know like the back streets back. All right. Do 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 do. Oh yeah, and then they go, here we are, we're back again. Do 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 do. And I can't remember the rest of the song.
What?
Yeah, that's
Thank
the
you.
only part you remember.
Yeah, I feel like was that no, that must have been their second. Logically speaking, that must have been their second album. There's no way that was on that was one of their first songs. But why is that like one of the? Why is that like the only song I know?
What about their first song? Tell me why.
Oh yeah. I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that one now too. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache.
Heartache.
Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake.
See,
Tell
Romeo,
me
you can
why.
sing that, right?
I'm
Yeah.
never gonna hear you say I want
You remember
it
almost all of
that
it.
way.
Yeah.
Am I? Is that near the end of the song? No, yeah, because that part loops a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like the chorus. Yeah.
Yeah. They came back for the first time and the last time. Oh. Wasn't Justin Timberlake part of the Backstreet Boys, or was he part of NSYNC?
NSYNC.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm like, my sister was, all obsessed with 90s bands.
Mm-hmm.
I know all
Ah.
about it.
Well, I grew up in the 90s, so it's I'm fairly familiar with them. Though I can't remember any. I don't know of any NSYNC songs.
I wish they'd put Japanese songs on Twitch Sings.
Mm-hmm. That would be nice.
That would be so much fun. What is your go-to karaoke song in Japan, guys?
Oh.
Yeah.
Like you are like, oh my god, okay, I'm with people. I need to make a good impression. This is the song that I can do. What do you sing?
My go-to karaoke song. I only know a few songs. So recently, the recent one that I've been going to is "Sincerely"
By
from what's it called? What's that show called? Violet Evergarden. Do you know the anime? So yeah, that's a song that I've been singing quite a bit. Yeah. Other than that,
See,
um,
Kai said Zankoku
yes,
no Tsunote. That's I did that one too.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
is
very
that the Evangelion like?
yes,
Uh,
it
Yes,
is.
it
Yes,
oh
it is.
yeah,
is.
yeah.
That's probably like the one almost everybody will sing when they go to karaoke. I don't know
for
why, but
sure.
it's just like
Hmm.
the go to song for almost everyone because it's so I don't know catchy. Yeah.
Yeah, like you
Yeah,
just
you
Mm.
can remember the tune really easily, so it's
Mhm.
easy to sing maybe, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to like get everyone pumped up together at the same time as well, So it's
Yeah,
like
it's true. It's true.
the first person singing, it's like, oh, do I sing?
Oh,
I
I
can't
know
sing
the
the whole
song.
song.
Mm.
Yeah, no, like, cause the thing is, like, the moment that a song everybody knows comes up, they all get so excited. It's like, oh, I know the song. Let's sing it together. That sort of thing.
Right?
Mm.
So yeah. Oh,
Mm.
Rankoku no Tenshi. Talking about that, just completely random. I have like my graduation performance coming up,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
the play we're doing this year is Midsummer Night's Dream in Japanese,
Oh.
and
Mm-mm.
and like the words are simplified, so it's not like um like direct translation for the of the Shakespearean English, so it's easier to say. It's more like just normal speech Japanese. But there's a part where one of the characters actually sings, and the one they did last year, they did the same play. They actually sang Zangoku no Tenshi.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that was
Wait,
interesting.
which? I know it was Shakespearean. You said A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yeah, Midsummer Night's Dream.
Hmm. Cool.
Hmm. So yeah, like there's this part where Oberon, or was it Puck, just like puts
Yeah.
medicine on the people's eyes, um, like to make them fall in love with the first person they see. So while they're doing
Yeah,
that, they're like
yeah.
just humming a song, and that song they were humming
Ah,
just happened to be Dangoku no Tenshi.
that's so funny. So people
Yeah.
must have been like, whoa, like, in the audience.
Mm.
Yeah. So it was interesting. I don't know if they're gonna change the song this year, but last year was Dangoku no Tenshi. So
I always love it when like people do like in classical movies and stuff, like movies set in like a classical era.
hmm
They like throw in modern, like people singing like modern songs.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, like talking about that, I like this. Like Kingdom. Do you know the Kingdom, the movie?
The
Like
Kingdom, the movie. I'm.
no. It's called Kingdom. The movie is called Kingdom. It's a Japanese anime that's been like
I don't
real life.
think so.
Drama?
Yeah.
I think I know of it. Yeah,
Like it
Kingdom.
was it was on the news for quite a while, but it's about ancient China, sort of like the
Mm-hmm.
Warring States period ish, like really traditional, like setting, like wars and that sort of thing, and like like
Mm-hmm.
sort of the Prince and the Pauper isk movie. Um, but like their theme song is by One Ok Rock,
Oh,
which is like super rock and super
yeah.
modern. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that made no sense at all. But and then they also had English songs in there. I'm like, what is this? What is this?
Ha- have you ever seen A Knight's Tale?
Mm,
Uh, yes.
Mm. It's kind of the same kind of idea where uh it's about it's about set in like 14th century Europe in jousting competitions and stuff, and at the beginning of it people are singing we like Queen, like We Will Rock You.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh, yes.
it's like fun.
I know it. Oh,
Mm-mm.
so yeah. Sorry, completely just yeah. Okay, sorry.
I
I would
joined the uh a cappella club
Ooh.
in my school, and then they, I don't know, I guess like we split off into groups, so you can't, it's like five, six, five, six, and then we sang Coconut and I
Mm-mm.
was the lead singer. And it was really embarrassing because I'm the only singer. So it's like, people were like really like into it. You know, they weren't expecting a foreigner to get up on stage.
Ah.
That was embarrassing. But it's fun.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice-
As
nice-
long as you have fun, right?
Yeah, as long as it's fun.
Right? As long as it's a good experience.
Mhm.
And yes, Asu, that's a Knight's Tale was a really good movie.
Surprisingly, I actually know it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait.
We-
Yeah. Another
Mm.
movie that I really like. What's it called? Princess Bride.
I love A Princess Bride. I love that
Yeah.
movie. Oh man, Momiji. I tried to get some of my friends. I had been telling them that they should watch this movie for,
It's
like,
good.
yeah, I had been telling them that they should watch it for a little bit, and they finally agreed to watch it. But the problem I ran into was, we had watched another movie first, and I was like half awake at this point. And so they start
Oh.
watching the movie, and I fall asleep. And I guess they weren't particularly into the first bit of the movie, so they stopped watching the movie, like, at
Oh,
some point
no.
early on. And, like, when I woke
Mhm.
up, I was like, "How did you guys like the movie?" And they're like, "Oh, we didn't end up sticking with it."
What?
Yeah.
It's a good movie. And no, Asu, even though I've watched the movie, it doesn't mean I know the memes.
Mm. Well, like, A Princess Bride is like one of those movies that is just like full of like memorable quotes.
True.
Yeah. Like, inconceivable. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. It's and and also, I am Anita Motonas. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yes. The quotes are the memes, Momiji. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
And also, have fun storming the castle. Which I believe is Billy Crystal, if I remember correctly.
Huh.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't
Okay.
know the movie, so sorry.
Mhm.
So yeah, sorry, we've like sort of
Yeah.
digressed to other things, but are we gonna end the stream?
Yeah. So thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and I feel like I
Thanks
learned.
for the invite.
Mm-hmm. And thank you. You guys were all super helpful, and I feel like I learned a lot about Japan, and so I am very grateful for that. If people want to look at the description, I put all of their their links to like the stuff that they do in the description, so you guys can check them out. And yeah, and did you guys before I ended, did any of you want to say any last like remarks?
Oh
Do you
wait,
want to go?
I didn't hear what Hiiro and Romeo had to say for their song, but
Oh yeah,
their
sorry.
go-to karaoke
Song?
Their go-to karaoke
I
song,
just
Hero.
remembered. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have a
Uh,
karaoke.
I don't go karaoke. I don't go too often, but like I'll sing. Wait. I don't know. I'll sing anything. Yeah, there you go. That's my answer. I don't know. Singing is fun. I like to sing. Yeah.
Yay!
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yay.
I love singing
And
too.
Romeo's just like probably shaking his head in his little corner, going, "No, no, no, no."
No, singing's for the weak. I don't.
Romeo?
Yeah. What is it?
Yes. What song do you like to sing?
Well, if I'm forced to, I'm forced to sing. I'll sing like a 90s anime songs or Toho songs. Toho.
Oh, yeah.
Toho Doujin songs.
Oh.
That, and that's pretty much it. I think.
Hmm.
I also want to apologize for everyone before the stream ends because I tried.
You tried.
Okay.
I tried.
Mm-hmm.
I had like an hour worth of alarms and stuff. It was going. I'm sure it was going on for like 2 hours. My my alarms, but
Mhm.
it didn't wake me up for some reason.
It's okay. We understand. You were really sleepy.
I that makes me sad.
I mean, if you guys must know, you know, he has a thing going on with everyone. Aaron knows now because when he streams on Twitch, Aaron's like, I wonder if he'll pull a Romeo today. So what it means is that he goes into a coma. So everybody knows already he goes into comas. So if he
Yeah.
oversleeps, people are like, oh, he's pulling a Romeo today. Yeah.
I heard some people early in the chats use the word comio, and I'm like,
yeah.
I have a
Oh,
feeling that this is not the
comio.
first
Yeah,
time they said
comio.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a thing now?
Yeah, it's a thing. It's
I don't want to make it a
Aaron
thing,
likes
you know. Like,
calling it's what
It's
you
a thing
they
now.
call you though. That's what they call you.
I know, but
Mm.
So does that mean your nickname shall be Comio from now on?
please don't.
It's comio.
Please don't. I'm trying to
Please
change. You know,
don't.
I'm trying to like stick to time schedule more strictly now. But I don't know. I'm so
It's not working.
I'm always sleepy. That's
Mm.
That means you're a hard worker. That's-
Yeah.
Hard.
yes,
worker.
exactly. Yes.
Yes.
You're a
it's,
hard worker that oversleeps.
Yes.
that makes it sound horrible.
It's like
I'm sorry.
such
yeah,
emphatic yes. So proud of it too.
He's like, yes, you understand me.
Yes, you understand me. I'm just tired. I work too hard. No, you just don't sleep at 4. I saw you yesterday. You were awake at 4 a.m. in the morning. That's why.
Yeah, I may or may not have left some assignment until very
Oh my
Um,
god.
yeah.
Procrastination will kill you.
I know. So,
It's
I was-
You say this
fine.
so matter of factly. I know.
yeah. But I wanted to hear what you guys were talking about. Japan. So I missed a lot. I'm sad.
Oh
Okay.
God!
The
But you
bonus-
came at the time when I was talking like not so positive about Japan.
I don't mind. It's not like I love Japan. So what did you say? I want to hear it. I mean, I guess I will check it later.
No,
Yeah.
no.
No,
Yeah.
right.
There will be a
You don't have to, I
VOD.
was joking.
This-
There will be a VOD though.
Yes.
Now, Ravenskull. Just to defend Romeo here. It's not that he's a lazy student. Being a student, like it's difficult being a student. First of all, studying is hard. Like sometimes, schoolwork just. Even if you want to do it, you've been thinking about it, and then you've come up with so many ideas. But like just doing it, sitting down and doing it is actually the most difficult part. And I can't fault him for that. It's not that he's lazy. It's just that sometimes. So just, I mean, as long as he does it right. So
Yeah.
Can I ask Romeo, what do you study?
What do I study? Politics, economy, ethics.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I would
So-
procrastinate on that.
Yeah. I'm yeah. So yeah. So I can't fault him because we've all done it. I'm like we
But
can't
not
point
for the huge collab with my senpais and stuff. That's
Right?
horrible. This is horrible.
I'm a senpai.
Yes, you are. You all are.
We're talking about procrastination and pendings. Like, oh my God, someone
I'm
called
a
me.
senpai.
That's all I've ever wanted.
I don't want to be.
You're
Please,
you're
ethics,
my
please, you don't
senpai
think
though.
Mm-mm.
You
I just exist. It's okay.
I mean, pending, you're my senpai. If we talk about it, are you
Are
my
you?
senpai?
No,
Wait,
you
wait,
came
really?
first. Momiji, I
Did
think
I come first?
I'm pretty
Momiji
sure you
came first.
Oh, I
Yeah,
came
yeah.
first. Okay, never mind. Never mind.
when did she debut, Momiji?
Oh,
I was December. You
No.
were you were
It's
September
almost 2 years for
2000.
Momiji.
August 29th, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost been
2018.
2 years.
2008.
2018.
2018. Sorry, not 2018.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah.
That's way too long. 2018. Yeah.
Yeah. I was December
Yeah.
2018.
I was April
So,
2000.
ooh.
I'm like
senpai.
Mm.
10,000 age.
I'm just
Yeah.
just
Yeah, Tara, it's a dream come true. Yeah.
senpais here, guys. We all go out together and have fun at karaoke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
bring the kohai along.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet.
We're talking about you, Romeo.
Oh,
Romeo.
yeah.
Hello, Kohai Romeo. Thank you for coming.
Pending's gonna have fun with this, isn't he?
Yeah.
Phew. So Tia is senpai to everyone, right? Tia senpai. Tia is senpai to everyone.
Yes.
So is it like Tia Momiji pending?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes,
And
I think
then
so.
me, and then
Oh,
and then me.
I just
Yeah,
realized I
you
ordered
know-
us in like the order we debuted.
Oh, we
yeah.
did.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And also, I just realized, Romeo, I'm sorry, I made you a little shorter than everyone else in the picture.
I mean, technically,
He really likes the
technically you're supposed
camera.
to be the shortest.
Yeah, technically,
yeah, he looks
camera,
like,
so it's
technically,
good, right?
yeah, he looks like he's closer to
technically,
the
I
camera.
should
Yeah.
really be the shortest. I think I'm pending is 4'8". I don't know how tall everyone else is supposed to be.
4'8"?
Well,
4'8"
Oh, that's
Keep-
so tiny.
Keep in mind,
Is centimeter?
pending is 10
Right.
years old, so that's
Oh.
why. That's
I
why
see.
he's 4'8". He's still growing.
In actual fact, pending is only one.
Well, yes.
Ah.
In like,
One.
well, so my first video came out on December 13th, 2018, and
Mhm.
how it works continuity wise is that was Pending's first day of existence. So
Yes.
in the lore, he was activated and he created a YouTube channel on his first day of activation.
How smart
Yeah.
of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
He
was
was
an
bored
AI.
and he's like, I'm gonna do this YouTube thing.
And then like he was like 3 days old when he made subtitles.
Wow, that's
That's
genius.
why subtitles is now
Yeah.
a duck.
Yes, that's why subtitles is no. It's a running theme that Pending is like really not all that bright, and yet is capable of making these bizarrely like futuristic things. Like the teleporter, he's made a time travel device. He's made a matter replicator. He makes like all these major inventions, but he knows very little despite all that. He also
Which is the fun thing about being like pending, and also doing videos with pending, because you sort of with pending, it's kind of like you be sarcastic and exasperated with him, but he doesn't understand that.
yes.
So he always thinks that you're being nice.
Yes. Pending always
Mhm.
assumes the best of people.
Mhm.
Which is a good thing, but also makes me want to punch him.
Momiji senpai?
Yeah.
Momiji senpai?
Well, I feel like every time Momiji and Pending are in a video together, Momiji is brought to her wit's end.
Yes, all the time.
Yes.
Well, at least you have someone there for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Rafunk, you want to punch a chibi child? No, I mean, I want to, but doesn't mean I do. I haven't punched him yet.
Yeah. Subtitles, on the other hand, is is completely okay with violence towards Pending.
That's true.
Yeah. There's been talk about how Subtitles has dropped a literal truck on Pending, amongst other things. Once tricked Pending into setting himself on fire. Pending can't feel pain, so it doesn't end up mattering, but
As long as there is cookies, everything is fine in Pending's world.
yes, exactly.
I think at some point,
Mhm.
at some point, Subtitles should probably, as a way to torture Pending, tell him that all the cookies in the world are gone.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
That would make
Yes.
Pending sad.
That would make Pending very sad.
Yes.
And then he will find a way to create more cookies in the world.
Yes.
And that would result in some really, really crazy, extremely complicated and technological creation that no one, that yeah. Anyways, that's just me.
Well, part of the
And
reason why Penny made the matter replicator is because he wanted to be Santa to get cookies. To which subtitles asked, why don't you just use the matter replicator to make cookies? And Pending gave this explanation about how cookies are too complicated because you got to get the consistency just right. They have to be warm, but they can't be melty. So it was too hard to make the cookies, but it was easy enough to make a matter replicator to make toys for children so that he could pose as Santa and get the cookies.
Get cookies.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes. So,
Yep.
so on that cheery note, thank you all for coming. I hope you all have good days, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good.
Thank you
Yeah,
for inviting us. Thanks
Mhm.
for
Thank-
having
ありがとう
me.
ございました。
Yes, thank you guys so much for coming, and have a good night. And I am waving even though you can never see me wave as I hover over the end stream button, and I am now.
And you should sleep, Pending.
Yes. Oh, I can
Oh,
sleep in because I
on
don't
it.
have to work tomorrow.
Hey.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Yay.
Yay. Okay,
Yay.
hitting the button now. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
さよなら。